Good day, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Viper of Viperland, and I'm back here in Chaos Child. Picking up where we left off last week with, of course, no background music, because that's just our curse. It's just the way of the world. But yeah, we finally got out of that hospital, and we were brought to the same... I guess a cafe is the best way to put it. Same cafe that, of course, we go to, because it's the special people cafe. That's how it works. Also, hey Mitz, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. How you doing tonight? It's awfully late for you to be visiting, but there's still time before we close, so enjoy and relax. What she really says is, you've got 5 minutes. You'll best leave in 5 minutes, with not a single speck left behind you. Kunasato took me to Cafe Lax. We were taken to a big table by the window. Come to think of it, I'd just been here a while ago. Last time it was to listen in on the conversation between Hinae, Arimura, and Shinjo. Clearly I gotta get in the reading names right mode. While I was thinking about that, the person Kunasato had called walked into the cafe. They seemed upset. Here we go again. Also, hey Pots, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland of the chat. Huh? When I looked up and saw who was there, I gasped. It's awfully late for you to be visiting. Enjoy and relax. She's like, she can't say welcome. She's got to be like, you're late. We're gonna close. Just leave. As somebody who's worked retail, I know. We're leaving as soon as I'm done. Oh, I'll leave when I'm finished. Oh, it hurts. You're late. Even I have to get ready to go places. And hey, Arimura, it was the girl I was just thinking about. Huh? It's Hina. Hello. So what's going on here, everyone? No clue. Don't ask. Self-entitlement, yeah. I mean, it's okay. We're all protagonists. It's fine. Oh, I didn't actually read that. True. What was she inviting Hine here for? And, you know... Kunasato, I told you not to get me involved in things just because I'm a helpful tool. Oh, you're a tool, alright. We offer each other information. That was the deal. And yet you're the one who's using me, not the other way around. Just sit down. Harimura sighed, glanced at us, and sat down with a frown on her face. So these two clearly know a lot of stuff more than we do. There was an awkward moment after we ordered our drinks when no one spoke. So, what's up? Once our drinks arrived, Arimura, of course, was the first one to speak up. I figured it would be faster to show them than to explain. Did you tell them? You couldn't! I decided they could be worth using. Oh, now we're tools, too. We're all protagonists, yeah. Which, in the context of media, fine. It's when the people in the real world think that way. That's when there's problems. That's when there's Karens and... has the internet ever finally decided on what a male Karen is? I've heard a lot of answers, but I don't think I've ever heard a definitive, like, this is... It's definitely decided that... honestly, I would just still call them Karens, personally, but... Really, I feel like Karen, while generally... generalized as a female shopgoer... really applies to the mindset. Really, I wish you'd cut that out. From the way they were talking, Arimura must have known about these powers as well. Bradley? See, I feel like I've heard Bradley and Brad often enough. They're called Taku. See, I've heard that one enough too, but that's funny, but not the generally accepted answer. Still good though, I like it. Also, hi Kaleido. Welcome to Viperland in the chat. Kevin. I don't feel like I've heard Kevin as much, though it's not that it doesn't fit. I feel like there's no like centralized, agreed upon answer. But you know, the people still exist, even if they don't have a centralized term. And I love the warbly hand, like the really bent one on the wall. Just stop whining and show them. Show them? Wait, she couldn't mean. No, it's a pain in the butt. I want proof of whether or not Takeru Miyashiro is a psychic. No way. I told you. I'm not. He's a psychic, no doubt about it. Arimura spoke as if it was the most normal thing in the world, you know. Yeah, correct. So it can't be Chad. Arimura? Hey, is she right? Miyashiro. I can't believe that. I can't believe that either. I told you, I don't know what she's talking about. It's still weird to see protagonist actually, like, here. I see. It's true that he doesn't know, it looks like. He has no idea. How would you know, Arimura? No? You really have no idea? Of course I don't. If I had that power, I would have used it for something. Yeah, he would have, wouldn't he? But when you want something to happen, something special always does, right? For example, when you snuck into the Love Hotel. The door to the room was locked, so how did you get in? You're lying, it wasn't locked. No, it was, but suddenly it wasn't. Am I wrong, Siri? Looking at Protag. Yeah. Also, Eric, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland of the Jet, huh? Serica hesitated for a moment and looked at me. Yeah, I did hear a click. Oh, no way? See, that's your power. You can unlock doors. My power? No way. It's likely the ability to cause things to move. It's usually called telekinesis, but the other name, psychokinesis, might be more fitting for you, because you're a psycho. That's how you were able to get inside the hospital so easily. Are you serious? Ito was looking at me in shock, so I was distracted by the book to the upper left of his head. Like, you'd think, like, at a glance, it's like, oh, clearly it would say, like, beautiful. But, like, that's not what it says. Clearly. It's like, beautiful, I guess? I don't know. I gotta stop getting distracted by background stuff, especially because half the stuff you can't really read. Like, most of the handwriting by the hands isn't legible to me, at least. No, wait, that's not right. It was just a happy coincidence that every single door that ever got in our way just happens to unlock for us under stress. Perfectly fine. Also, hey, Sora, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland of the Jet. Sure, when I go into the psych ward and the underground lab, a lot of the coincidences that happened all at once. Doors that would normally be locked weren't. When I'd gone down to the underground facility from the autopsy room, something had gotten stuck and I'd been able to open the secret door. But there's no such thing as psychic powers. But, Miyashiro, you said they might be the key to this case. I did say that, but there's no such thing as me having psychic powers. Sure, I'd been saying it just a little while ago. See, I feel like this is definitely a difference between Taku and Taku. Oh, no, I feel like his reaction still wasn't... It's funny, because his actual reaction wasn't, oh my god, I have powers, I'm the best, but like, the Taku in my mind, that's how he reacts. Even though that's not how he canonically reacted. The Taku in my mind, that's how he reacts. Like, yeah, I've got powers, look how good I am. Yeah, powers, I'm special. Even though that's not actually how he reacted. Though he did go and buy a cheap sword, thinking it was a D-sword to try to be special, so you know. Having powers makes me a wrong-sider. Sure, I'd been saying it just a little while ago, but only after being told that I was a psychic. Well, I was a psychic, did I understand? I hadn't actually really believed it. When I said it aloud, I acted like it was some brilliant theory, but in my mind, I'd still been treating it as fiction. I mean, you know, right? How could I have something so crazy? Can you answer every question I'm about to say with no?
Huh?
No. If he answers that one with no, then... Huh? What's this about? Just do it, okay? Okay. Too much griefing from Taco. Yes, absolutely. I nodded, since it didn't seem like I was going to be given a chance to disagree. You think everyone in your class is an idiot? Ooh, already caught him. Already calling him out. They've interacted minimally. They've had like 3 short conversations, and he's never mentioned this to her. However, calling him out. I mean, psychic, so you know. But still, feels good to get called out. No, feels good from our point of view for him to get called out. He's like, I still dunk on him for being a Taku, but he's drastically better than Taku 1. Like for sure, he's a more likable character from the get-go, even though he's still got unlikable traits, many of them. But like, I don't think I've encountered a non-villain in fiction that I liked less than Taku 1. There are villains you can hate more, because it's just dog-kicking, evil-doing villains. But I don't think I've ever hated a protagonist more than Taku. In all that I can recall. Maybe I'm mistaken, but he was written that way. It was meant to be that way. Most people don't write a protagonist that way. Rightfully so. Oh, wow. Oh, he lied immediately. People love him more than Taku. Yeah. Chaos Head was hard to finish. And it wasn't just that. It was how graphic it got, too. But it was also that. But, like, it hooked me because I am a big sucker for unreliable narrator stories. Specifically when done well, which is rarely. For me, it's like Silent Hill 2, Chaos Head. That's about what I got. Yeah, no. Well, see, Dio had the caveat of is attractive. Taku didn't. There will always be people who stand somebody hot. Always. But I agree. Like, that was just Araki's go-to make a bad guy bad very quickly. Hurt animals. Oh, memes, for sure. I love Dio memes, but Dio is not a good person. Love the memes, though. But you wish you could be a part of their group. Ooh, he's gonna deny that one too, but we know it's true. No. You've gone to karaoke by yourself. He's gonna say it was for research purposes. Ooh. You went to karaoke by yourself, but didn't sing a single song. Like, he's denying it, but you can just see the look at his face like, stop calling me out. And she's like, gotta keep calling you out. When you were living with Kurusu, you peeked in on her when she was... Oh. Taku. Now he's getting mad. I see. I understand. Wow. You can really just deny whatever somebody says, can't you? Larimer nodded and smiled. You understand what? First, the first question. Miyashiro, you think everyone's an idiot, don't you? Oh, so she can't read minds. She can just... She's a lie detector. God help you, because I won't. Yeah. That's not true. Oh, it's super true. Next. But you're actually lonely and want to be a part of their group. No, I'm not interested in their unproductive conversations. You only call it that because you have to soften the blow of not being invited to them. You went to karaoke by yourself, didn't you? It's just to do something for the newspaper club. I didn't sing. That's a lie. Huh? You did sing. I did not sing. Was it just one song? I told you I didn't sing. I see. It was just one song, huh? Hey, Miyashiro, is that true? You kept insisting you didn't sing, remember? I remember. How did you know this stuff? It seemed like a waste, so I did sing one song. I mean, to be fair, if you're already paying for it, like, why not? To be fair, I don't think that's one that you should hold against them. Like you think you're better than everyone, but you secretly wish to be with them, and also you peeked in on your sister in the bath. Shame him for those, but honestly, he was already there for research. You're already there, there's a microphone. You sing a song. Finally, when Kurusu was in the bath. Enough, stop it! Sarika pushed down on her Garofraki strap and made a noise like the "you lose" buzzer on a game show. Is this a TV variety show or something? No, that was Yuto playing a trick. He said nobody was inside, so I opened the door and looked away, I looked away quickly, so I didn't see anything. It's true. Do you have any idea what hell I went through after that? Oh, that I believe. I absolutely believe that if he was caught doing that, hell had rained down upon him. I believe that. Just remembering it terrified me. Wait, no! What of it? Can't you tell? That's my power. Huh? I can tell if what somebody says is true or false. That's my power. Fast as bedman. Damn, yeah, that's when you know you're in a corner. She could tell if somebody was lying. Ah. And then I finally realized the way Aramura had acted and the things she'd said. Can you say that aloud? Oh, was that just what this was about? Okay. Yeah, that's why she was always asking about that. Is what she's saying true? I don't know. Why don't you ask her? She can tell if people are lying or not. Set of techniques that use the art of conversation, observation, and intuition to gain information about a target and make them believe that the user has spiritual or psychic powers. Since it has uses in counseling, therapy, police interrogations, and sales, unlike hot reading, it is not necessarily a form of fraud. It's not necessarily a form of fraud. But it's also not necessarily not a form of fraud. If you're using it to fool mass groups of people into thinking you can do something that they're paying you to do, that's fraud. A method primarily used by self-proclaimed psychics and spiritualists, where agents are used to learn about a target or subject in advance. The psychic then pretends that the information was gained through clairvoyance or mind reading to make it seem as if they have special powers. A method made so much easier through social media. No, it could be hot reading or cold reading. Well, I mean, I guess, but she called you out pretty hardcore. Though, I guess it's not too hard to call out some of that. Yeah, she can't look into your brain and be like, what do you know about X? But she can hear you say a thing and go, that was true or that was a lie. This Cleo was real. Oh yeah. Yeah, the one thing I know about psychics is that they actually work best over the phone. Yeah, especially when you pay them per minute. That's where they really shine. Pay per minute telephone psychics? 100% legit every time. 100%. That's why they shut her down. Definitely not because it was a fraud and scamming people out of money. It was definitely because they were afraid of her accuracy. That's what it was. Man, I remember Miss Cleo. Hot reading? It's when you look up things ahead of time. Actually, just look it up in your own later. I don't have time to explain to you this thing I said. Forget it. This is taking too long. Kunosato looked annoyed and bored as she was watching our conversation. Show it to him. That's the fastest way. Show him? Here? I don't think anyone but Miyashiro will be able to see it. Maybe, but... Arimura looked towards the ground. Show me something? Wait, what was she going to show me? Gonna show him the D. Sword. She nodded reluctantly and then suddenly stood up in front of me. Miyashiro?
Nani?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I can't wait for Friday. It's gonna be good. For the super eventual video. Yep. Yeah. He and plenty of others have just torn into like fake psychics and like, I don't know, like if you do tarot card reading as a hobby, like cool, live your life. But if you're literally like scamming people or like trying to get in on police investigations and derail the police from actually finding a murderer, that's when you're screwing up. When you're taking advantage of like grieving people or derailing people who are actually trying to find killers. That's when it's bad. What? Watch carefully. And then she lifted up her skirt. Oh my. No, that's not what happened. Huh? What are you going to show me? I almost asked, but then I stopped. Suddenly, she stretched her right hand out to the side. She inhaled slowly and then seemed to draw something out of the air. She wiped away the background. Huh? No. As I sat there, astonished, she pulled something impossible out of empty air. Oh, that's probably the coolest D-sword so far. It was warped, yet elegant. Ugly, yet fascinating. I like that design. It was inorganic and organic at the same time. It was as if it contained every shape in the world. It was a sword? Wasn't this the same thing that Kunosada had at her apartment? I mean, drastically different designs, but yes. The shape was different, but it had the same terrible feeling to it. But Arimura had just pulled it out of thin air. How did you do that? Arimura looked unhappy as she saw my shock. So you can see it. Huh? What's she talking about, Taku? What do you mean a sword? You can't see it? Serika and Ito both shook their heads. That's impossible. It was huge. How could they not see it? I quickly looked around the room. But no one else, not the customers or the employees, was looking at the thing in Arimura's hands. No, they couldn't see it. That settles it. But what do you mean? What Arimura is holding can prove that someone is a psychic. It's called a D-sword. A D-sword? I'd heard her use that word before. I didn't realize she was talking about this, though. Only psychics can see D-swords in that state. In other words, if you can see it, it's beyond any reasonable doubt that you're a psychic. Kunosato's cold voice dropped even lower than normal. But I've never used any kind of power like that. But it's true. Well, just because you didn't consciously do it doesn't mean every door in your path didn't magically unlock for you. Like, at some point, the coincidences of people leaving every door in your way open, like, I couldn't believe it. So much was going through my head that I couldn't think. Well, the thing is, like, depending on how far you made it into Chaos Head, there is a pseudoscientific excuse for why. Is it legit? I mean, clearly no, but, like, they try to explain it scientifically, and, like, you know, hats off to them. They give it a good shot. So it is still, in the context of the game, based in science, as much as using a cell phone to travel through time is. No, we're still in the cafe. Arimura just proved that she is basically a lie detector. If you say something to her, she can 100%, that's her psychic power, she can tell if you are lying or not, and just manifested her D-sword, which Taku can see, which proves he has psychic powers, which is how all those doors keep opening for him. That's the two plot points that have happened. But we've also seen a bit of, she also called him out hardcore. Called him out on thinking he's better than everyone. Called him out on going to karaoke alone. Called him out on peeking on his sister in the bathtub. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense, yeah. Well, it's their way of, like, their way of explaining why stuff could happen like that in Chaos Head was basically a roundabout way of saying, if enough people can see something and accept that thing to be true, it is true. So as long as you can convince people to see a sword in your hand, or a flower pot over there, or whatever, it becomes real because enough people just believe it to be. And the sword was just an extension of that. So yeah, that's what you missed, Ramen. Looked over at the D-sword again. Arimura fiddled with it and snorted. Well, since we're both gigalomaniacs, let's get along, I guess. Gigalomaniacs? I remembered Kunosato using that word before, too. That's what we call psychics, gigalomaniacs. It doesn't matter what you call them. I still can't believe it. My psychokinesis, you called it? That's unscientific. He's got the one fang going. Yeah, we've seen a bunch of his portraits in this cafe. We've seen his portrait getting more and more disturbed as she kept calling him out on his stuff. Yeah, psychokinesis is simply the word I use to make it easier for you to visualize. There's actually a more scientific concept that exists. Scientific? I looked at Arimura's sword skeptically. Scientific? That? No, I think you're wasting your time, Kunosato. Even if you explain it, he wouldn't understand a word. By the way, neither did I when she explained it to me. Don't think I'm like you. I'm actually, right. You're smarter than... Damn it, she was pissing me off. You don't need to understand it. What you do need to understand is this. Don't use your gigalomaniac power like you're in a cartoon. It is primarily used to refer to TV animations that are shown in Europe and America. Cartoons consist mostly of simple good versus evil stories using characters from American comics, as well as humor programs targeted for younger audiences. In Japan, you can watch cartoons on a dedicated paid cable TV channel. It's not that simple, and it's not that pleasant. What's different? The ability of a Gigalomaniac is, put simply, the ability to change their delusions into reality. Change their delusions into reality? So Harumiura's delusion is that she can tell if people are lying? And Taku's delusion is, man, I really wish doors opened? What was she talking about? That wasn't scientific at all. Have you ever heard of the Dirac Sea? Oh, yep. Of course you haven't. Didn't you wait for him to answer? So, well, of course you haven't. That Terra figure? Yeah, sure, okay. It looks really cool. Obviously. They couldn't charge that much for it if it didn't. But A, I didn't play 6, and B, I don't have that money. I really don't have that money. The Dirac Sea? Sarika started to fidget on the sofa. She probably couldn't follow what we were talking about at all, but she could tell that I was nervous. That's a concept from the quantum mechanics, isn't it? Oh, I'm surprised. I didn't expect a mere high school boy to know that. When you say something like that, you're just feeding his ego. Business expense. Yeah, but I don't have a business. I can't write it off as a business expense. Oh, yeah, big old tax break, I'm sure. I'll get right on that, yeah. I didn't even notice his face. Holy crap, yeah. Man, that went straight to his ego. Unfortunate, but you know. For some reason, a lot of people on the Japanese internet loved relativity theory and quantum mechanics. Schrodinger's cat, for example, had been discussed so many times by now that it was considered an embarrassment to even bring it up. So I knew a little. Oh, it's defined as a vacuum filled with negative energy, right? That vacuum is called a Dirac Sea. Make an emote of that. This was a pretty good smoke face, yeah. That's right, the Dirac Sea is a world filled with negative energy. Kunosato looked at Arimura's hands as she held the D-sword. And then Arimura smiled, a little wickedly. And this, what's it see? You use it in the sword to make your delusions reality. That's called a real boot, supposedly. A real boot? The D-swords are shaped like weapons, but that's not all they are. They are terminals that let you affect the Dirac Sea, and function as a pipe between it and reality. By using these terminals, Gigalomaniacs can draw out more negative energy than should be able to exist in reality. So like a Smash Brothers character reveal, got it, or like Twitter after a Smash Brothers character reveal. I understand. Then, in accordance with Hole Theory, pairs of particles and antiparticles are created. They become errors which affect the dead spots of others' brains. Dead spots of the brain? Dead spots of the brain. By dead spots, I refer to the blind spots in the visual area of the human brain. Affecting those areas means transmitting your own delusions into them, so that the target sees your delusions. And the target experiences that delusion as a completely real phenomenon. But that's just a hallucination, isn't it? It's no different than hypnosis. Hypnosis? Really? Then what if every single person around you recognized that illusion as reality? Every single person. That's right. And what if by everyone I meant every single person in Shibuya? Or what if that spread to everyone in Tokyo, then everyone in Japan, and then everyone in the world? Who would tell you that it wasn't real? That's... At that point, your delusion is neither fiction nor hallucination. It becomes reality. That's why we call it real booting. That's impossible. There's no way you could alter reality like that. I rub my head with my fingers, trying to make some sense out of all this. Let's say that hypothetically, and just hypothetically, mind you, I was one of these Gigalomaniacs. It's impossible for a delusion to affect the real world, like opening a locked door. All of the researchers, including us, thought the same thing at first, but we were overly optimistic. What? The delusions of the Gigglomaniacs and the shared reality they create are capable of altering the physical world itself. And opening doors. That's what makes them so dangerous. I looked at Arimura's sword, then back at Kunasato. Arimura was still smiling as she held the sword in front of me. Couldn't tell if the light it gave off was holy or evil, but for a moment it was so beautiful that I shivered. Why not both? I suppose it doesn't matter what what vibe the sword gives off, it's the user. Shenanigans. Yeah, the Dead Zone book, don't know about it. Oh man, I think I mentioned last week, but I saw Contagion, the movie, for Easter. Oh boy. Speaking of things that have aged, like, it's actually the opposite. It didn't age. It predicted too much. Okay, I really I should have read more Stephen King. Most of Stephen King stuff I know via miniseries and such. And I know people give the Stephen King miniseries a hard time, but like, I loved Rose Red, and I loved Kingdom Hospital. Are they AAA 10 out of 10 greatest experiences ever put on television? No. But I like them a lot. They're fun. Even the Langoliers and their really bad CG. Really bad CG. Like, that was some bad CG. In a time where it was still early CG, but even by those standards, it's not like, oh, it's CG that didn't age well. It was like, even at the time, did you guys even try? The town was filled with noise that threatened to swallow her whole. But that was just the way she wanted it. Shibuya was a town that accepted anybody and rejected everyone. It was the only place in the world that let her be a part of it now. She moved her legs forward, valiantly amidst the hustle and bustle. Forward, forward. Each step she took, her face twisted with horrible pain. Or at least that's how it seemed to her. She didn't know if the pain was actually appearing on her face. Like, it was still I enjoyed it, but like, that was some bad CG. It was still enjoyable. I liked it. Wasn't one of my favorites, but it was fine. I didn't regret watching it the one time. I probably wouldn't rewatch it. Her face was covered with scars and shielded by long hair that hid her hate. But as she dragged her legs down the streets, no one in Shibuya stopped to look at her. She was grateful for that, but at the same time she hated it. A flame burned within her womb. It's a flame of hatred. She was nothing but hatred now. The businessmen who passed by her on the street, the empty-headed students, the happy couples, the miserable-looking old people. She hated everyone. But she hated them most of all. She hated the ones who had abandoned her. She hated the ones who'd done this to her. If they hadn't abandoned her, this never would have happened. The hatred burned within her womb. No, she was the hatred. The power she'd gained that day. It was all for this. Only the joy of revenge drove her forward. So that's definitely the girl that they didn't save from the chair, right? Forward and forward. And then she didn't notice that the people who passed by her turned back in surprise. She didn't realize it herself. But the woman was laughing. She was laughing so hard that anyone could hear her, like black smoke from a flame rising towards the sky. She raised her voice and laughed. That seems promise. Oh, more Amy. Two people in chat. Amy and Max Caddy. How goes it? Miyashiro's awakening. Not completely yet. Who else? He seems to have finally remembered. Or what else? Their existence? Yes. What of the sin he committed? Not yet. Understood. It is almost the day of judgment. Good. Every part of that sounds fine. Cool. Cool. Hey, is that the thing? The one that's really popular right now? What, really? That's crazy. And why the hell is that popular? It's supposed to curse you, right? Isn't that crazy? Come on, let's take one. Ah, come on, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. Come on, crazy. It's so crazy. It would be crazy if you did that crazy thing that was crazy. Yeah. It's a really good thing all along. Oh yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Oh, is that the thing? What thing? You haven't heard about them? The sumo stickers? Sumo stickers? Oh, come on. You're joking, right? Don't tell me you've never heard of them. No, I seriously haven't. Seriously? They're really popular right now. Popular? They're creepy as hell. No, I guess popular isn't the right word. They were found at the sites of those murders, you know, the weird ones. The stickers were? Why? I don't know why, but it probably means something, right? Sumo stickers, huh? They couldn't have picked a better name. Look, here's another sumo sticker. Wow. Maybe it's because 428, but like, I can't put my finger on it, but like, I feel like I've seen that rock before. It's such a weird thing to say. I feel like we've played so many games that just take place in Shibuya that even though this is the first time we've seen this shot in this game, I'm like, I know that rock. Right? Okay, so it's not just me. It's not just me. We've played way too many gosh dang Shibuya games. We gotta play Ghostwire Tokyo just to keep it going, right? Oh, I'm so glad it's not just me. Oh, really glad, because it's the first time we've seen this scene in this game, right? Like, this... We've really been confined so far to, like, the places the characters were, not, like, outside people. Look, here's another sumo sticker. But I just had that visceral deja vu. Oh, maybe Persona 5, too. Like, there's so many games I've played that just take place in this tiny area. But, like, so many of them recently, too. It could have also been a World Ends With You, but like Persona makes sense too. Oh, I haven't seen season 1, but it's a show I'd like to see. I hear good things about it. Shibuya arc? Cool. I bet you it'll be good too. Everything in Shibuya is good, clearly, obviously. Oh, there are even more of them. Wait, what the heck are you doing? Aren't they kind of cute? Like if you put one in your bag? You're kidding me, right? Cute? What's wrong with you? I'm telling you, they're really popular, don't you think so? Get that thing away from me. It makes me feel sick to look at, kind of. Google Earth stream of Shibuya Street View. Clearly, that's our final form here. Angela Stone. They probably do, honestly. They probably do. See, she says it makes her feel sick. Like, I'd be shocked if at least the Scramble didn't have a live camera. I'd be shocked. No way, it's cute. But I've never looked either. Huh? What did you put on that? Oh, this? It's that sticker. Neat, huh? Whereas, okay. That staircase was in Neo the World Ends With You. 100%. That staircase on the left. Like the line of shops that go up to that staircase, the staircase that had the heckin' noise as a stair on it for one side quest. That's the, like, this is the sign we've played too many games that take place at a real world place. Oh, I like it. Right? This is gonna be the next big thing. Wouldn't it look cute on a t-shirt? Oh, but don't you think people would say it's inappropriate? Right now, live at the crossing. Sure, but who cares if we all wear them? Like, I was just looking for, like Crocs. The Crocs. I was looking at store titles, but then I saw the staircase, and again, just the immediate wave of like, I recognize this. Want to try and make some merchandise? Nothing's missed. Cool, yeah, but other than little details and the progression of his face as he's being questioned, that was about it. 2 cameras, third one is down. Ah, clearly it's to prevent people from seeing the D-sword, obviously. It's a great idea, like socks or something. It might be cute. Maybe I'll think about it. What's up? Do you smell something burning? Oh yeah, it happened here, I heard. What did? You've heard about the person going around setting all the fires, right? The serial arsonist? No? Oh yeah, I think I did. It's supposed to be because of that cursed sticker or whatever. What's with that? Seriously, it's supposed to be the same as that last thing, right? The New Generation Madness, you mean? Yeah, that. The New Generation Madness. It's a copy of that. Stuff's getting really bad in Shibuya, man. So as you can see, the dates of all these incidents match the dates of the original New Generation Madness. And people are asking what the connection would be. What are your thoughts on this? Well, it's safe to assume that there's some kind of connection. But at the moment, I think it's too early to assume that all these are the work of the same perpetrator. I mean, I guess, to be fair, last time it was 2. And why is that? The sumo stickers that were found at the scene are also found everywhere in Shibuya. It should be relatively easy to find one. Thus, it's possible that someone left them at the scene to make it look like the same person was responsible for all the incidents. So you think they're trying to confuse the police? Yes, that's what I think. Especially in an internet-oriented society like ours. Information like that travels fast. It's possible that someone heard about the first case and decided to imitate it. There's still a lot of mysteries to be solved here. I hope we get a chance to revisit this at a later date. Now, an update on a series of arson attacks that have been taking place in Shibuya, Tokyo. Their resistance. Alright, new chapter. 1, apparently. Chapter 6, we are 10% through with the trophies. Yeah. We have more trophies for this right now than we do for Chrono Cross, don't we? 7%, yeah, 7 and 5. Chrono Cross trophies are really like late game leaning, whereas this is like chapter based. Can't believe there's something like that in the basement of AH Tokyo General Hospital though. Takeshi Shinjo frowned as he leaned back on the sofa in the inside of the messy office. Frieza Corporation was located on the second floor of an old multi-purpose building in Sakuragaoka. Let's be honest, this is the room that used to be the, what was it, the Daily Sun? Was that the one from 428? This is clearly their old office. Yes, every time I read it, I hear that Frieza. Yeah. At this hour, the 20 or so desks in this room were mostly empty, but that didn't mean that things weren't busy. Worst dad's place of work, yeah! Him. Investigation companies like Frieza did a lot of work outside the office. It was precisely because they were busy that there was no one here. Still a great karaoke song. Still a great song, but you know. 3 people were having a serious discussion inside the empty office. No. He didn't survive, but this guy was trained by him and looked up to him. So it's not the same detective, but he follows the same detective mentality. So, oh yeah, Detective Guy worked with her on the right, and the detective of this game definitely learned from the detective from the first game. But that detective and his sidekick did not make it to the end of that game. Nope. Very dead, yes. Well, I can understand why you'd be skeptical. In front of him was the CEO of Frieza, Katsuko Momose. Why would I waste my time lying to you? Mio Kunisaro was sitting further away from him, not even bothering to conceal her displeasure. It was clear she had no intention of being friendly with him. So wait, so she has a D-sword too, right? We saw it in her room. What's her power? We know Taku can generally unlock things. Like, he has psychokinesis, but like, generally speaking, he unlocks doors. If he really is set on getting a place, things will work out for him to get there. We have a human lie detector, and we have unknown. Of course, I'm not saying that I don't believe you. I know there's a lot of weird rumors about that hospital. We know she does not have the psychokinesis, because she had to struggle to get in there. So, like, for sure, she doesn't have that power. And I don't think she'd have the lie detector, so there's got to be something else. Like, that's not a psychic power, that's an arc. Yeah, that's not a power. We've got living proof, too. That takes practice, not psychic power. To investigate and learn things? Maybe. That would make sense. But, like, then why did she have to go there physically? If it's something she could do, like, psychically or remotely or something. Maybe it helped her, like, learn the, like, layout of the place or something. Maybe it helped with her infiltration. I don't know. I don't think if there's been any hints to it, I haven't picked up on them. But that's not saying much. It's really not saying much. It's an underground lab. True, she didn't. But maybe she's just used to it and has, like, gotten resistance. And why would she leave a heckin' D-sword just chilling in the side of her room? But nobody else noticed it or commented on it. So I don't know. Yeah, if she knew it was coming up, maybe it's something you can, like, brace for. I don't know. Shinjo looked at the other people on the sofa. It was a tiny little girl. She was really taking care of the patients in the facility. Oh yeah, I forgot we got her out of there. Yeah, that's right. So who's taking care of them now? No one. They can get anything out of her now? You can try, but you might just be disappointed. Huh? Well, you see... that was something. I'm going back. Please, I'm going back. Please let me go back. That's all she ever says. That she wants to go back. She won't answer any of her questions. It's rare to see you having such a hard time with anything, Momose. Shinjo stood up and dragged an office chair over to the sofa the girl was sitting on. Needs a hug yeah, very fast. I mean, she was set up to be spooky, but like, she's just trying to help people who've been dealt a bad hand. A very bad hand. Oh, not dealt a bad hand, forced a bad hand, I guess. He sat down as slowly as he could so as to not to scare her, and looked at her at eye level. Uki Yamazohe, right? He tried to speak as softly as he could, but she still shivered at his voice. No need to be scared. I'm a policeman. A policeman? That's right, so don't worry. If you're a policeman, then help me. Of course, so I want you to tell me who locked you in that dark basement. These people kidnapped me. Help me, send me back. From her point of view, this is what's happening. She's been kidnapped, and the police officer's like, no, it's fine, I'm working with the kidnappers, but I'm a good guy. Uki Yamazoe looked at Kunasato for just an instant, and then back at Shinjo, begging. So I'm a kidnapper, you see. Want to arrest me? Don't make this any more complicated. Hey, Uki, you seem to be misunderstanding things, but you were made to do terrible things in that basement, and now you've been rescued. There was nothing terrible, it was just helping everyone, that's my job. So I have to get back, everyone will have trouble without me. I believe that. That explained why even a veteran like Momose was having trouble. Shinjo looked at the two and shrugged. I don't know what to do. Send her back, right? From what I've heard, things in that basement were pretty bad. I wonder if a normal girl would want to go back there. I wouldn't. Well, what we do here might be just as bad. Momose chuckled. I took a look at her scalp, and there's no traces of a lobotomy or electric shocks. Excuse me. We won't know for sure unless we do a brain scan, but my guess is that she's been locked down there for so long she simply stopped questioning it. Excuse me. Same as an abused child, huh? Yeah. I don't know what to do. Shinjo looked back at the girl, who now seemed as if she was about to cry, and started to scratch his head. As of now, the police had no reason to make a move on AH General Hospital. None of the evidence he'd gathered had been acquired by legal means. He'd hoped that Yuki Yamazohe's testimony would allow her to function as a whistleblower, but that was looking unlikely. Oh, right, Uki. Do you know this boy? I am also, just now, what is this, how many episodes into this game, how many hours into this game, realizing that the text box is an ink blot, like a Rorschach text ink blot. I am observant, and I notice things with a keen eye, unrivaled by other people. Yes, I did, Robin, thanks. For what it's worth, I'm usually focused on the text part of it, not the side part of it, but that's the excuse I'm going with. Detail-oriented is exactly how I would describe myself. to people who are debating paying me money, depending on it or not. Professional streamer, I guess. Shinjo took a smartphone out of his pocket. It was one he'd borrowed from the younger officers. He picked out Takeru Miyashiro's photo from the ones he'd taken of the people involved at the Hekiho Academy shooting. The greatest, nothing escapes professional eye. Hey, it's not like me noticing that early would have just materialized 1 billion viewers. He picked up his smartphone, he says. I've met him several times, but what's a smartphone?
Huh? Nani?
Huh? What? She doesn't know about anything that's newer than a few years old. They were, yeah. They were waiting for me to be like, wow, look at that ink blot. And, like, would have just flocked in, yeah. But how would they have known about it unless they were already watching? Shinjo thought for a moment, then pointed to his own phone. Oh, they just had a whistleblower. They had one person watching, just waiting to be like, guys, he noticed! And, like, yeah. This is a smartphone. He dropped something like this, and you picked it up. Do you remember? Uki stared at the phone in his hands and then nodded softly. I thought so. So what happened to it? It still doesn't explain the creepy, like, phone call they got. Like, they were, like, her just being the caretaker down there who's basically just forgotten how to do anything else. Doesn't really explain how, I mean, unless she's just got psychic powers, which I guess would probably explain all of it. But, like, it was a deactivated cell account that made a phone call. The knocks are entirely unexpected or unexplained so far too. Those are just something else, yeah. Oh, was she? Okay, whoops, I missed that bit. Oh yeah, because she was worked on down there. Duh, they wouldn't have done that unless she was. Yeah. No, and that's the main thing he wants back is because it's got that photo on it. And so, yeah, they did not get the phone back yet. So what happened to it? I put it back where it was, right away. You put it back? You didn't take it with you? I wouldn't do that. Things I don't understand are scary. But Miyashiro says that he got a call from that phone. Wasn't it you who did that? Huh? Smartphones are machines that show pictures like that, right? They can make calls too? Then who called? Yeah. She had nothing to do with it. Right back where it came from. But where it came from was on the floor. Why would she have picked it up just to go? Though at this point in time, I don't believe her to be lying. Like, I'm going to trust what she's saying. I don't think she's lying to us. But this definitely raises more questions. Momose giggled a little. Shinjo glared at her, then turned the phone around and brought up a number from the address book. He tapped the number. The phone rang for a moment, and then an extremely irritated voice answered. Yes, hello, this is Arimura. Clearly, yes. I hope she doesn't turn out to be evil. Yeah. No patience down there. I'd have to assume. Like, you have to assume. See, you can make calls with it. Going to distrust every character in the VN. Oh, you kind of have to, don't you? Shinjo turned up the volume so that Uki could hear it. Uki didn't seem to care. I see. Hello? What is this? If you don't have anything to talk about, I'm gonna hang up. I'm about to go to lunch. No, I do have something to talk about. Something important. Can you help me with? No. At least let me finish. Should have clicked. Wesker, obviously. Listen, Shinjo, am I supposed to be your girlfriend or something? You're always calling me. It's kind of lewd. No, wait, I didn't mean... So you're a stalker then, right? I'm not. I'm in trouble and I need your help. That's what all the bad boys say. Then you beg me for money or make me do weird jobs to earn cash for you. You make me sick. Be serious. This is important, please. Ramen, she can at best be second best. Shinjo finally managed to quiet her down, and then told her about A.H. Tokyo General and Uki Yamazoe. And then he asked Uki a few more detailed questions, this time so she could hear. Oh, so it does work over the phone. And as a result, that's why he's calling her all the time, and she's sick of this. Fair. Best girl who talks. Okay, well, Arimura? She's totally clean. She didn't tell a single lie. Okay, so her power totally works over the phone. And she really doesn't know anything about these incidents. Do you think she's got something to do with the killer? Then you're wasting your time. I see. Shinjo's shoulders slumped when he heard that. He saw that Konosato's did too. She's probably thought that she could learn a lot of what she wanted to know. Wow, she probably thought that she could learn a lot of what she wanted to know from Uki Yamazoe. Konosato frowned and looked at the ceiling. Arimura, thanks. You were a big help. I'll take you to lunch or something. Huh? Are you asking me out on a date? Then hell no! If I took a minor out on a date, I'd lose my job. Anyway, talk to you later. What do you mean later? Stop calling me! How many times do I have to... Ooh. Ooh. He ended the call before Arimura could say anything further, and finally the room fell quiet. I could see why a cop would not would abuse the power of, like, hey, you can tell me absolutely 100% likely. Full of herself. Oh, for sure, but... Oh, man. At some point, that power's got to be a double-edged sword, too. Like, knowing every single time anyone you can hear is lying, at some point is gonna sting. No one spoke for a while. The only sound was Uki Yamazoe's mumbling, "I want to go home," as she stared at her feet. Well, we'll keep her here for a while more. There's not much we can do beyond give her food and a place to sleep. Momose stood up and rolled her tired neck. I wonder how well it works. Like, I wonder if it's just, is person lying, or if it's like a greater power of, like, if you have somebody say the winning lottery numbers for tonight will be A, B, C, D, would you be able, would her power go, oh wait, that's actually right? Like, would that work? Could she find someone by going, like, if she didn't know where Taku was, she wanted to find Taku, could she say aloud the phrase, "Taku is at the cafe," and know whether it's true or false? Everyone's lying to make you come across fully yourself? Probably, yeah. There's an unhealthy popping sound. What? That's the, what am I? Oh, stood up and rolled her neck. I missed that. Yeah, okay. That's still a big help. Other people lying. Truth is based off their knowledge. That makes sense, but, like, would be fun to imagine. So we're going to have to start over from nothing with AH General then. Not completely. I'll try to come up with a way to do a real search of that underground facility. Can you? If you file the appropriate paperwork, then they're just going to pressure you to shut it down again. I'm sure. Yeah, sure, then... Well, I can come up with an excuse. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think I can do something. Kind of rubbing your own? Fair, yeah. So someone who can always tell if you're lying? No. I mean, it's not like I tell many lies, but, like, it's still just gotta be, like, weird. And if I can get this into the public's eye, I don't think they'll be able to ignore it. What? Did I say something strange? You're starting to remind me of them. Hopefully only one of them. Is that something I can be happy about? Yeah. Well, just don't cheat. That solves that issue. Pretty handily, actually. I don't know, if nothing else, you're probably in for a gruesome death. You know, sure, it's fine. Oh hey, back to 4chan. Also, 1 second. Newscaster Watabe murdered. Another copy of the New Generation Madness. Finance Milk Girl. Popular online journalist Tomoaki Watabe was murdered on the afternoon of the 10th at a school in Shibuya. The police have become more convinced that the killer in this case is the same as the other murders that are patterned after the return of the New Generation Madness 7 years ago. Watabe visited the school to talk to the students and coughed up sumo stickers and died when he went on stage. Watabe's stomach was filled with a large number of the mysterious sumo stickers, and it is believed that these are what choked him. As the sumo stickers are seen everywhere on the streets of Shibuya these days, they seem to think it would be impossible to track down where the killer found them. Watabe had previously pointed out the relationship between the sumo stickers and other mysterious deaths that took place on the 7th, 14th, and 30th of last month. The police are assuming there's a connection there. Well, he didn't point it out, the kids did, but, you know, whatever. Lie detector scene. See, I never played the second one, and I don't remember too much of the first one. Gotsendesu? Gotsuan death? Gotsuan death. And before, this is a viral marketing scheme by the sumo wrestler people. Obviously, the kids he was interviewing did it. Gotsuan death. So wait, we're calling this one Gotsuan death? If you guys want to see a sumo sticker that bad, look in the freaking mirror. There's a huge, shadowy conspiracy involved in this. All the victims are people who have tried to find out about the conspiracy. The ones behind it are also the ones behind the original New Generation Madness. They also eliminated the person who designed the sumo stickers. I bet the kid he was going to talk to are in danger too. So, what, you're a sumo sticker truther? He's reading between the lines. It's the killer, JK, lol. Look at your ID, dude. What ID? Gotsuan death. Gotsuan death. This thread's almost 1,000 posts long. Why do you guys like sumo so much? Gotsuan death. Gotsuan death. If this is post 1,000, I'm going to win the next sumo tournament. Oh, hey! There you go. He's going to win the next sumo tournament. Congrats. Well, I don't know if she made works because it doesn't go off when she tells him apart and that she hates him from the bottom of her heart. Aw. Power so she can make anything into a BL. That would have been too powerful. The power to move objects. Telekinesis, they call it. That's your power. Like, power? Oh, hey. It's actual, best girl. Now, try and focus on it in your mind. Make it move. Focus on it in my mind. Move, move, move. Everyone's a terrible person. It's amazing. I mean, that definitely sounds like an outlier for the series, but also entertaining. Move, 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 move. Oh, well. Wow, look, the book on the desk. I don't know why, I just like that one. Especially the really unimpressed face in the back. We have two and one. Psh, whatever. Wow, look, the book on the desk. Seriously, it's floating. It moved. Wow, I'm surprised. This may be more powerful than I thought. Yeah, school books are heavy. Takeru Miyashiro, I've seen your power now with my own eyes. She does not care at all. Kunosada-san. From now on, will you use your power to help Shibuya News? Oh, he's hallucinating again. She wants me to help with Shibuya News? Definitely. No, it's not waving, so maybe it's not. I need your power. He can levitate himself, clearly. Clearly. He shall fly himself to the moon, maybe. I don't know. Also, hey, welcome to Viperland in the chat. You're popular now? Cool. Yes, with pleasure. That's great, Taku. Still unimpressed. Everyone is super happy for him. No. You're amazing, Miyashiro. Oh, well, of course, this is nothing. I hope this is a delusion, because that proves that even in his delusions, he knows she wouldn't be impressed. Miyashiro! Taku, yeah, come on, Taku. This is nothing. He definitely was just dreaming. Even in his dreams, he knows that she would just be unimpressed. Utterly unimpressed. Perfect. Huh? Oh, he's up. This is my room? And that was a dream just now? I looked at the clock. It was already well into afternoon and approaching evening. Oh, I see. I've remembered now. I'd met with Arimura and Kunasato at Cafe Lax and then come back here late last night, still confused. After that, I'd gone home and thought, and then done some research on the internet and finally gotten to sleep around sunrise. That's why I was only getting up now. Her power's Gold Farm. Sheesh, came here because I was worried about you. You're peacefully asleep. Taku's so relaxed. What are you guys doing here? Surprised, I left out of bed. That's some Queenie. She doesn't cheat, she just always rolls high on loot, coincidentally. Everybody came to see you because you were worried. Her psychic power lets her resonate frequencies through solid objects, so she punches the wall next to her and that sends vibration to the server room where the game is being run that just makes some of the digits just go her way. Everyone came to see you because we were worried. Worried about me? Why? Because, well, you know, right, Hana? Oh, she came with too. Kazuki? You too? It was a tiny room, but I'd only just realized that she was here now. Hey, Taku, that's a mean thing to say. Hana's been worried about you this whole time too, right? That was surprising. Kazuki was so worried about me she'd come all the way out here? It's a dream within a dream. He's still dreaming! I figured no matter what happened, she'd be sitting in the club room playing ESO too. I'll say 7th, how's it going? Welcome to Viper Landing Chat. How you doing tonight? Come on guys, you don't have to be that worried. But, you know, a lot happened yesterday, right? That's right, no one was worried too. No, Kurusu was. He's starting to go back to... Yeah. You didn't tell her about everything that happened last night, did you? Oh no. Serika looked confused. Did you? Yup. Oh no. That stuff about psychic powers too? Yeah. Why did you tell her? Because even if you hide things from Noan, she finds out. Oh, that's her psychic power, clearly. Yeah, Kurusu was pretty sharp, and I couldn't imagine a girl like Serika being able to hide anything from her. I gave up and fell back onto bed. Should I not have? Death by sisterly rage. Serika looked apologetic as she fiddled with her Garo Froggy strap. No, it's fine. If you've told her, there's nothing I can do about it now. Knowing Kurusu, she was probably really upset now. So? So what did she say? Oh, she said that since she couldn't move right now, she wanted us to stay with you. Was that all? Knowing her, she probably said a lot more, right? Like, don't do anything dangerous, or psychic powers are stupid, or something like that. No, not really. I mean, it's Kurusu we're talking about here. That can't be all she said. Mayoni of this game, clearly. No, that was all she said. Right? Her friend. Yeah, she might. She clearly knows at least something more. She knew something about the hospital, and was really worried about them going specifically to the hospital. So for sure, she knows more than she lets on. I rubbed my eyes, still sleepy. Something didn't seem right. Oh, that's right. There was a call from Shinjo this afternoon about the phone you're looking for. Oh. Ito slapped his hands together as if he just remembered something important. I quickly stood up. That was one of my biggest concerns right now. What did Shinjo say? I eagerly pressed Ito for more information. The tutor of death. Shinjo had said he intended to spend the whole day getting information out of that Uki Yamazoe girl. Of course, I've told him many times to ask about that phone. Probably he had. Oh, about that. But the answer I got was one I wasn't expecting. She doesn't have it? Yeah, she picked it up but put it right back, she said. And Shinjo believed that? Really? Arimura checked it out. She was telling the truth. Arimura did, which meant that she wasn't lying. Then that weird call from my phone to yours. She had nothing to do with it, supposedly. See. In other words, someone else took my phone. Then who had the phone and that picture? And how and why had they managed to use my phone to call us and threaten us? Was it a threat, though? I mean, it was the knock, but was it a threat? Anyway, he says he's going to keep looking for it. For now, why not buy a new one? Huh? You're still the club president and our leader, right? So it's a big problem if we can't get in touch with you. We were worried all day today, for one thing. And None said it was really hard when she wanted to talk to you. I see. I'm the leader. It felt kind of embarrassing, but I knew that only these guys would say something like that. Yeah, it's true that I won't be able to talk to everybody now if something happens. Yeah, you're right. I'll get a new phone soon. Seen that ability to apply only to people conscious of lying or also... I don't know. Good question. Sariko smiled happily. So, about what we were talking about yesterday. What were we talking about yesterday? The psychic powers that Kunosato was talking about. Do you think they really exist? Oh, about that. I don't know. Seems a little too unscientific. But you were the first one to talk about psychic powers, weren't you? Yeah, I mean, depends on how psychic the psychic power is, I guess. I don't know. Well, you could see that sword thing that Arimura had, right? Well, I could, but... Arimura's sword. I think she called it a D-sword. Definitely looked real. If you could see that, it means you're a psychic, right? Kunosato said so too. Ito, you still believe everything Kunosato says, huh? Even after what happened to you? She treated him pretty badly in the basement of the hospital. Maybe he... We called it at the time, by the way. Maybe he was into that. Hey, don't look at me like that. It's not my fetish or anything. What he means is, it wasn't until last night. No, wait. You're always trying to piss off Kurusu, aren't you? Are you sure that's not deliberate? Wow, Shin's a pervert, huh? Stop it, guys. Anyway, we're talking about Miyashiro's power right now. Ito dragged us back to the original topic. This was definitely suspicious. No, I mean, I don't know about any psychic powers. I've never been able to use one when I wanted. Arimura and Kunosato said that the locks of the hospital and the Love Hotel opened because I wanted them to, but I'm not sure if I believe that. The door to the hotel room might never have been locked in the first place, and the others might all just be coincidences, right? But he tried the door to the hotel room in the hotel room first. So besides the fact that we heard the lock, like, he tried it, it was locked, we heard the click, it opened. The other ones you could argue coincidence, I suppose, but that one's harder to argue coincidence for. Did you try it? Try it? Yeah, I mean, you won't know if you can unless you try, right? Might be easy once you know the trick. Lock the door to save him? No, it unlocked it. Yeah. Oh, wait, it might have also, too, because it was locked and it wouldn't let them out. Yeah. Even the normally disinterested Kazuki was staring at me with curiosity. It was rare to see her like this. Maybe she was interested in psychic powers and the occult? Let me see. Or did you try it on your own and it didn't work? If that's the case, that's too bad, but... No, I wouldn't do anything that stupid by myself. I lied. Actually, last night I tried and it hadn't worked. Well, let's try it. Come on, it's not going to hurt you. But how do I try it? Maybe, like, focus hard? Try that, and it didn't work. Come on, Taku, focus, focus! Focus on what? Unlocking a door. Like, you know, on moving that book there. And now this was just like my dream. Fine, I'll do it. I'll try, but don't get your hopes up, okay? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's see him take the challenge. Takeru Miyashiro, ladies and gentlemen, can he do it? Clap, 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 clap. I like how she says clap, clap, clap. Oh, no. Suddenly, Sarika stood up straight and gave me an introduction and a round of applause. I had no choice but to stand in front of the book and get ready. I raised both hands slowly and concentrated. Move, move, move. Move, 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 move. Move. The more you yell at it, the more it's going to move. I stuck my hands out quickly, and then the pages of the book slowly started to... It's not moving, huh? I told you, right? I can't do it. Aw, that's lame. Come on, Kazuki, don't punch the wall of my house. I'm glad though, Taku. Yeah, just lock him out of his RV. Yeah. Sarika opened one of my mountain views and smiled. I hadn't seen her take it from the refrigerator. Oh, I'll take one too. Sarika handed Ito the plastic bottle she was holding, and then took out 2 more from the fridge. She gave one to Kazuki. Hey, those are mine, guys. You better pay me back later. Oh, come on, don't be so stingy. Living on your own is expensive. Actually, I'll take one too, anyway. That was 4 bottles in total. I'd have to go buy a new pack. Thanks. So, why are you glad? You just said you were glad. Oh, yeah, because if you did have that power, it might mean your life is in danger, right? Huh? My life would be in danger? I once again don't have a Mountain Dew, but this time by choice. I had one last week and I was like, cool, that's enough for now. Just tea. After everyone left, Sarika's words repeated again and again in my mind. It's an art form to flash back to something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines ago. That's a powerful thing to do. That's a flex. To flash back to 5 button pushes previous? Powerful. At least this time they subtitled it. Right? Unlike the last time we flashed back to the same thing like 9 times in a row about how his life could be in danger, they at least subtitle this one again. That's nice of them. There was a chance that all the victims of these murders, they were calling them the Return of the New Generation Madness, had psychic powers. That was the conclusion I'd reached as well. If I had the power that Kunosato and Arimura said I did, I could be a victim too. And Arimura had said before... Still can't subtitle it. I'm sure they do, but I'm playing on PS5, so... Got that tangled. Killed? Me? I hold up the controller as if I couldn't have been playing it on the PC with it plugged in, but yeah. The hell is going on? Normally I'd be excited that my theory about psychic powers had been proven correct. Your theory? But instead, you literally just overheard other people talking about it. Why did I have to start worrying that they'd come after me? This doesn't make sense. Excuse me. Subtitle manual in the stream every time they play that. Yeah, we gotta go back to that first one, grab that. Excuse me. Set it as a thing here. For one thing, I couldn't use any psychic powers. Other than the power of coincidence. See, I tried and nothing moved. I focused and nothing started floating. I knew for a fact that I didn't have any powers, so even if other people said he did, even though all we've known of his powers is the ability to, like, unlock doors in his path, And they haven't tested it on a locked door. Also, maybe it is something that just works kind of passively. Maybe it's only when he's really intense on it. Like, maybe it's not something he can manually choose to do. The new Endwalker block scene. We could maybe make that work, but what if the killer mistakenly thought that I did, the same way that Arimura and Kunasato did? In that case, even if they were wrong, my life would still be in danger. No way, that's crazy. Huh? What's that sound? The door. Again. Someone here? But the others had just left, and there was no one else who could come by here. No way. Could it be someone who wanted to kill me? Why would they knock? No way. You're kidding, right? You gotta be kidding me. I can't use them. I don't have any powers. No, stay back. Stay away. No, I'm not a psychic. I'm not. But despite my pleas, the door slowly opened. It's a normal reaction to a door opening. What? What's all this noise? Ah, huh? Again? Hey, Taku, I just got back. Oh, don't scare me like that. I staggered back and sat down on the bed. I was nice enough to bring you your favorite thing, too. Oh, I know. I bet you were hoping it was a girl, huh? Or hoping I was a girl. Of course not. Well, that's the way it is with boys our age, so here you go. Ken tossed me an issue of Cool Cat Press, then stuck out his hand. To be honest, I didn't feel like it, but is 500 yen enough? Thanks for your business. Hey, now I can enjoy another cold one. Why not try saving up? You fool, a real man never saves up more money than he needs to get through the night. Listen up, Taku. If you're a man, then don't be stingy, or the girls. Right, go home. Yeah, he's mad. Whew. I pushed Gen out of the room and shut the door. The room became strangely silent once more. The occasional passing of a train seemed exceptionally loud, but when it was gone, the silence returned. Shibuya Station was very close, but once you got even a little bit away, it became like this. Secretly evil. I won't be mad when it turns out that Cool Cat Press is actually like propaganda for like evil mind control experiments. That'll be just like, yeah, no, that checks out. Normally, I love the silence, but today I felt a little lonely. Don't look at me. Leaky Noise, Revolving Dead, and Gotsuan Death. They all had stupid names, but they were all brutal murders. And if you did have that power, it might mean your life was in danger, right? Damn it, there's no way. Oh man, don't even. No, Ark, it's okay. I flipped open the new Cool Cat Press to take my mind off it. The page read, "Polish your hidden talents to make girls love you." Of course, that's what it read. October 12th, 2015, Monday. Okay, all done. Thanks, Yui. It's nothing. You always do so much for us, and I'm not a kid anymore, so you can count on me when you need me. Yui smiled as she finished disinfecting the wound and applying the gauze. Nona was a little surprised to see her smile look just like an adult's. Yui and Yuto had come to the Alba dorm at almost the same time as Nono and Takuru. What was I? A.W. Albert Wesker. Clearly, yeah. And it will tell you where the shaman girls are, Lintello. Yep, both of those things are true. At first, they were still young, and it took time for them to get used to life here, but now they were an indispensable part of life at the dorm. Of course, it had been 6 years now, so perhaps that was only natural. That's right, Kurisu told herself. People can get used to anything. Nono thought about how long 6 years really was, and softly patted Yui in the head. What is it, big sis Nono? No, it's nothing. I just realized how much you've grown up. Where'd that come from? I told you, it's nothing. I was just thinking it. And at the same time, she thought to herself. It clearly is, yeah. I gotta sell a magazine to raise funds. I have to protect this no matter what. The things she'd built up over the last 6 years. Her family, and... Listen, big sis, no. Don't go running around and making it worse again, okay? The way Yui stood up when she talked was just like Nono did. It felt a little embarrassing to watch. I'm sorry. And anyway, what's wrong with Brother Takaru? How could he just leave you when you're in pain? Thought that he was really nice, even if he complained a lot. Guess I was wrong. Don't say that, Yui. Takaru's got his own problems to deal with, I'm sure. His own problems? Well... Kurusu knew that Takaru didn't want to hurt her. Takaru was just struggling as hard as he could. Against the circumstances he found himself in, against the world. But... I don't know, but I'm sure he does. Weird. He still didn't realize that sometimes the only thing that brought was sadness. It kept Takaru's past a secret for his own sake. There was nothing to be gained from digging up the truths of the past. Takaru knew that. So why... Anyway, you need to stay put. That's an order from Dad. Got it? Right. One answer's enough. Right, got it. Very good. Yui said the line that normally Kurusu would say, then left the room. Kurusu chuckled as she watched her go. And then she took the phone off the side table. A moment after she turned it on, the phone's wallpaper appeared. It's a photo of her family. Her, Dad, Yuto, Yui, and Takaru, with a blank expression on his face. I thought there was no copy of that photo. I thought he had the only copy, and that's why he was super going after that phone. It was one of her most important treasures. Unless, like, he specifically was like, I never made a copy of it, otherwise it would lose its importance. So did both phones take that picture? Maybe he doesn't know. She stared at it for a long time, and then after a moment's hesitation, opened the photo gallery on the phone. There was Takaru, mixed in along with many of her other memories. He had the same flat look on his face, and it almost made her laugh out loud. At the very bottom of the gallery was a picture dated a long time ago. It was taken 6 years ago, just before the earthquake. There were 3 children in that picture. Nono, Kawahara, and one more. Then she heard a knock at the door. She quickly hid the phone behind her back. Big sis, Nono, can I come in? Why would she hide her phone? She has a phone. Why would she hide it? What is it? Your friend's here. She said she'd come to check on you. My friend? Hey there. Serika softly opened the door and came inside. Doing good? I was doing good. I wouldn't be lying down like this. Oh, I see. Okay, I'll come back. It was a joke. Come in. Okay. Serika came inside, moving a little more carefully and softly than she usually did. She sat down next to the bed. Should I bring something to drink? Oh, it's fine. Don't worry. Thank you, Yuto. Okay, bye. Serika smiled as she watched the door close. What is it? I was just thinking that Yuto's really grown up. He's still spoiled, though. Yuto was shy, particularly around people older than him, but he seemed okay with Serika. Probably because Serika had been around Takaru for so long. So? Huh? The reason you came here? To check on you. We talked about how I was doing on the phone, right? So you didn't have to come here. I guess I really can't fool you, no? Of course not. So what is it? Well, I was just thinking that you were acting kind of weird. I was? Yeah, on the phone. You sounded down. What are you talking about? I'm hurt. Of course I'm not feeling well. That's true, but I don't know. You just seem kind of weird, so I came by. Serika? I guess I can't fool you either, Nono thought to herself. No? What's wrong? Not feeling well? No, that's not it. That's not it. It's just... Nono hesitated for a moment and then slowly took the phone out from behind her back. There was only one thought in her heart. I have to protect everyone. That was all. If she couldn't change things, they'd be put in danger. Takaru, her family, the rest of the newspaper club. So Nono made her decision. What she couldn't say until now, what she didn't say until now, she would tell everyone. Serika, you said you saw information about a girl named Senri Minamisawa in that hospital basement, right? Yeah. Look. It was the picture Nono had been looking at until a moment ago. There was Nono Kurusu, Makashi Kawahara, and one more child. No, this is... So good times, yeah? Alright, let's take another look at what we know about these sumo stickers. The smug dude? Yes. He's the smug dude from class. The student council vice president? These stickers first started to appear in the city in 2007. We don't know who put them up or why. It's said that they were simply a prank, or that they had some kind of spiritual or religious significance, but neither of these theories are anything more than rumors. But the majority opinion online is that the reason these stickers have been appearing in such large numbers lately is that they contain some sort of message. We'll ask our guest, who is familiar with youth subculture. Here too. It's eerie that we don't know who's doing it or why. And here... When you look at the design of the stickers themselves, every channel I looked at was talking about the sumo stickers. The world was talking about the sumo stickers a lot more than I expected them to. Everyone was getting excited over old news and old theories. But none of them had reached the same conclusion I had yet. Smug noises. Well, of course they hadn't. It was way too far-fetched. But a while ago, I'd been confident. I'd been sure of my theory, and Kunosato and Arimura had confirmed it. But I didn't believe in it anymore, or more specifically, I didn't want to believe it. Because if those powers existed, it meant that I might be a victim too. I might eat my own hand, or rip open my stomach and shove a speaker inside, or have my head ripped off, or stomach filled with pieces of paper with faces on them. Be the one roasting him to death in that delusion? Yeah. Yeah, it was. I might meet the same end as all the others. A sliced arm. A bloody stomach. A severed head falling off its neck. Eyes that wept blood. A wide open mouth. Sumo stickers pouring out of it. That happened to me. No. No, 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 no. No way! I don't want that, no! Let's take another look at them. These are what people call sumo stickers. A close-up of the sumo sticker appeared on the screen as the announcer spoke. The instant I saw it, I leapt up from my chair, hallucinating that all the nightmares I'd seen so far were real booting and attacking me. I closed my eyes so that I couldn't see the sticker. Man, he's having... One theory says that a student at a design school started putting them up as a form of creative expression, but whatever the reason, it's been nothing but a huge nuisance ever since. I fearfully opened my eyes and tried to catch my breath. The sticker on the screen was still staring at me with its creepy face, but nothing had happened to me. That's a fake. I'd seen the 11th Rorschach image in the basement of that hospital. That was the real sumo sticker. and it had a terrifying effect on me, but many of the stickers that were showing up around town were fakes, put up by people hoping to be part of the latest fad. They had no effect on me at all. Don't scare me like that, damn it. What's wrong? You did just scream. I do like how even though he screamed and she thought something was wrong, she still gave one cursory knock first. Just knock, barge in. Also, he just doesn't lock his door, does he? He just doesn't. I finally calmed down, so when I suddenly heard a loud voice next to me, I jumped up again. Are you okay, Taku? Huh? I recognized the voice, but still I fearfully turned around. Hey, what happened? Wait, Onoe? I suddenly felt so tired that I almost dropped straight to the ground, but, managed to stop myself. What the hell are you doing? That's what I want to know. You screamed so loud that everybody outside could hear you. All the neighbors are scared for you. I was doing voice training. Really? Serika looked at me, worried. But Taku, you're so pale, and you're sweating badly. Really intense vocal training, okay? Serika took a handkerchief out of her pocket and tried to wipe away my sweat. It's fine, I'll do it myself. I grabbed the handkerchief from her and scrubbed the sweat off my forehead. Oh, I'll wash this and give it back to you tomorrow. You don't need to worry about it. I don't think your sweat is especially dirty or anything. You should. So anyway, what do you want at this hour? Did he just admit to being dirty? I think he did. I put the handkerchief in my pocket. Her face took on a much more serious expression than usual as she slowly began to talk. Oh, she came right from, yeah. I want you to listen to what Non has to say. Kurusu, right now? She said you could come tomorrow, after school's over. But I think she actually wants to talk to you right now. Is it that important? Yeah, I could tell you, but Non says she wants to tell you herself. I see. Serika never took anything this seriously. Must have been something important. Okay, I'll go over there now. Okay, that's my Taku. You're always so nice. Yep, when I think of one word to describe Taku, nice is the one. She grinned and giggled a little, then grabbed the handkerchief out of my pocket. Oh. Don't worry. I'm just gonna enjoy the smell of your sweat. Oh. Don't! See you tomorrow. She squeezed her Garo Froggy strap to say goodbye, then spun around and left the RV. Sheesh. I watched her go until she was out of the park. Kurusu wanted to talk about something important. Yet blush sprayed. As soon as she was gone, I tried to think. What could she want? Oh, there's no way you could predict this, Taku. Did it have something to do with what happened? The idea scared me a little, so I got ready as soon as I could and left the RV. I hurried down the usual route. The route I took to the Alba dorm. But, huh? Something was different. Something wasn't the same as it had been before. Something was wrong. I'd just come by the path on this path on the way from school, but so what was this strange, dissonant feeling? Oh, hello. Oh. The real ones! The walls, the fence, the streetlights, stickers were staring at me from all directions. And all of them were real. Not one of them was fake. It was that eerie 11th Rorschach image. Good times for Taku. The scenery in front of me suddenly warped and twisted. I felt the mountain view I just drank coming back up my throat, and I tried my best to keep it down. No, don't look at me! Don't look at me! I'm not a psychic! There's no reason for you to come after me! No, even if Aryamura and Kunosato were right, and I did have some kind of power, it's only a tiny little power, which I couldn't master and wasn't even good for anything. So there's no point in coming after me. Leave me alone. Happy Taku times. I heard a strange voice from somewhere. Like a cat in heat. No, this was... It was the sound of a baby crying? But I doubted there were any babies in this park. So what was that voice? And then, all the stickers that were staring at me smiled. And then slowly, their eyes opened. I think my new favorite Taku sound is this one. The Taku squeak. No! Oh, sorry, Amitz, yeah. These things... No. I ran as fast as I could, not caring where I went. I just needed to escape from the 11th Rorschach somehow. But... bad Taku times, all the way down, no matter where I went. Yeah, no matter where I went. Here. And here. And here. There were so many of them. Were there really this many sumo stickers in Shibuya? How did I never notice? Stop it, please! No matter where I went, it was like they were following me. I'm sure he's having a great time. I had no idea how long I'd been running from the phantoms of the sumo stickers, but no matter where I ran, the whole city of Shibuya was covered in sumo stickers, and each time I saw one, I felt sick, dizzy, as if I was going to throw up. Add to that the exhaustion from running, and I was barely able to stand. Just when I'd reached the conclusion that there was nowhere left in Shibuya for me to rest anymore. That's the logical answer, Ramen, but like, when you're running in a panic, logic doesn't take over. I saw a silhouette crouched in an alley. It was a person clutching their arms to their tiny body. They looked like a stray cat. It was so different from the girl I was used to that at first I thought it must be mistaken. But when she looked up, I saw that it was her. Arimura? Does she not have a home? What are you doing here? I don't feel good because of those... Arimura pointed behind her, but didn't turn around. There was enough to tell me what she was pointing at. Oh, I mean just that too. Sumo stickers. I see. You too, huh? Huh? They look terrible. You can't bear to look at them, can you? No, I... You know she knows when you're lying, and you look like trash. I didn't want to admit it. If I admitted it, that would mean that I had a special power like Arimura, and that my life would be in danger. That would mean that instead of me going after the case would be coming after me. Is it just me, or are there more of them all of a sudden? Arimura's voice was so soft that it was hard to hear her. They're talking about it on TV a lot right now, so I'm sure all the wrong-siders are sticking them up everywhere. And not just the fakes, the real stickers too. It's really annoying. That's right, I think people like that are going to get sick of it soon, though. I hope so. Anyway, let's go to Aiba Clinic. That's the care facility where Kurusu and I grew up. There's an exam room there, so even if you're not feeling well, you can get some rest. Right. I'm sorry. Can you stand? I can stand on my own. She forced herself to smile, then ignored my outstretched hand and stood up on her own. Getting to Alba Dorm was a miserable experience. I could feel the influence of the sumo stickers increasing with every step I took. Are you okay? Yes. Or so she said, but she didn't look good, and I wasn't in a position to be worrying about anyone else either. Hurry, just get to Alba Dorm. That was the one thought that drove me forward. But suddenly... She appeared before us. A woman? It was a woman with a strange presence. If we'd been on one of Shibuya's typical crowded streets, I doubt I would have noticed her. But on this empty street, she was impossible to miss. Her long hair covered most of her face. Yeah, yeah, just having fun, yeah. Nothing explicitly shown, but they will definitely describe gruesome things. So, they'll get up to, like, lewd. They might show a covered body, and they might, but they won't show anything explicit, but they will definitely describe very not happy things happening to people in a fair amount of detail. So, no for visuals, yes for descriptions. It's the best I can say. And it's very much on the violence side of 18+, not the nudity side of 18+. So, that's what it is. Also, hey, Poison, how's it going? Welcome to Viper Lane in the chat. Don't know the number? Oh, I don't know. And with the streetlights to her back, I couldn't read her expression at all. But I could see the strange, hungry light that shone from her eyes through the thick hair that otherwise concealed her features. It was a dark light, one that somehow brought a deeper blackness, not illumination. I haven't synced the quotes recently, so I can't even be like, oh, you can check it. I haven't synced in the past, like, 2 weeks. Let me see if I can... Hold on. See if we get it spot on. Nope, that's not the one, but that's the right game. Oh, man. Yeah, but there's a large difference between the borderline comedic violence of Grand Theft Auto and, like, super descriptive renditions of, like, body parts being eaten. There's a large amount of difference between those two. A large amount. Like, you're right, but I'd say those are in different categories. But Miyashiro, Arumura's voice was shaking. She'd realized how strange the woman was, too. And then my eyes met hers. The next instant... She laughed, or so it seemed to me. Her laugh was empty. You gotta be honing in on it. Like, you guys are in the ballpark. We're getting a ton of Cast Child ones, so I wish I remember the number. There's only so much pants left. But at the same time, somehow satisfied. That's a good quote. It was a laugh like evil itself, and it was nothing I'd ever heard before in my life. And then, in a raspy, unpleasant voice, she spoke. Oh, that is not what you want any single person you don't recognize to say when meeting you after a really crazy laugh in a darkened alleyway. You really, really don't want that. I found you. Bad times. This girl is bad news. Thanks, Takeru. Alarm bells went off in my mind. Bad. This is bad. Bad, bad, bad. At least he has a sense of, like, bad. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Ramen. She could be anyone, okay? She could be anyone. My knees started to buckle. My instincts told me that she was dangerous. At least he has instincts. Arimura was staring at the woman, not moving a muscle. No, she probably couldn't have moved, even if she had wanted to. It's like we were paralyzed. That woman, she's... Excuse me. Arimura barely got out the words. I think she's a psychic. Clearly unfazed by the stickers. A psychic? I didn't want to admit it, but just looking at the woman in front of me was enough to dash all my hopes. It's a good Pekko quote. I forgot about that one. Oh, 666 will be the next one. Okay. Psychics are real. This woman, her very existence was enough to make me believe. Yeah, I thought we had two. I thought we were up to like 667. Yeah. But there is the internal cooldown for it. Not that it's stopping us from spamming it now, but you know, it's just got a built-in cooldown. Arimura. What is it? What's her power? I don't know about any of the Gigalomaniac's powers besides Arimura's, but from what I've seen so far, some of them were a lot more dangerous than the ability to tell when somebody was telling the truth. Just... It's time for advanced footsies. That's another really good one. There had to be more types. For instance, ones that could be used as weapons. There was no doubt in my mind that this woman had that sort of power. That's a really good 666, in fact. Damn it! If I'd known this was going to happen, I would have done more research. Didn't matter whether I believed or not. Another good quote. It's funny that we haven't narrowed down the specific one for potions, though. Ah, there it is. There it is. Took some doing, but we got it. Didn't matter whether I believed or not. I gotta sync the quotes so that they can be searchable again. It's searchable up to a point, but I haven't synced it in a while. How could I not have that information I needed at a time like this? Yeah, let's just Google what psychic powers exist.
Tasty.
I don't know either. It could be telepathy, it could be precognition, it could be clairvoyance, but... Arimura's eyes were fixed on a single point. She probably couldn't look away. I think her power is more dangerous. Her power is something that can hurt people. Yeah, you guys should leave. Like, 5 minutes ago, the woman started walking sluggishly towards us. Slowly, slowly. I finally realized that the reason she seemed to be off balance as she walked was that she was dragging one leg. Maybe she'd injured it, or maybe it had never worked right. She approached us one step at a time, as if enjoying our fear. She took another step. A horrible smile was frozen on her face. Her eyes were looking straight at us, as if she didn't want it to let her prey escape. I have to get out of here! But my body wouldn't move. My body had turned to stone, as if I'd been stared at by Medusa. Opening bit? Oh, okay. I had forgotten about that, actually. And then suddenly the wind blew. The woman's long hair flew up. And I could see just a little of her face. Arimura gasped. The woman had been terribly burnt. Her face was covered in horrible burn scars. They're too scared to move. Yeah. The smile disappeared from her face. Instead, it was replaced by rage. There was nothing there but burning rage and the color of anger. She slowly brought her hands up, and then pushed them out towards us. Oh. Literally burning rage. Well, we know who's starting the fires around town now. Arimara screamed and pulled at my hand as hard as she could. A pillar of flame sprung up right where I was standing. There was a blast of heat and the awful stink of burning asphalt. A burning pain ran down through my cheeks as the heat struck it. What was that? Pyrokinesis! Yeah. She went PK fire, and they barely got out of it. Not great. Not great. She waved her arm, and the next moment the space in front of me was a sea of crimson flames. Arimura and I tried our best to get away from the fire. Pyrokinesis? I knew that meant the ability to create fire, and if he didn't, context clues. If I remembered right, it was a word created by a famous novelist. All over the world, there were historical records of unexplained fires breaking out for no clear reason, like spontaneous combustion, which I can say without a lisp in this game. Spontaneous human combustion, where a human body would suddenly burst into flame, was one from those form those incidents took. Of course, spontaneous human combustion was considered pseudoscience, as most scientists believe those incidents were actually caused by static electricity or EM waves. Say at the lisp, no. And now, real pyrokinesis was happening right in front of me. My Shiro, why are you just standing there? Huh? The next thing I knew, this woman was stretching her hands out towards me. So she's just Season 1 Zuko, right? What? I rolled along the ground with Arimura at almost the exact same moment the fire exploded outwards. The smell of burning hair stung my nostrils. Oh no, my hair! There's no time to worry about that! It's gotta survive before you worry about hair. We kept moving away, only barely dodging the burning flames. Pillar after pillar of fire appeared behind us. It looked like the flames had spread to a bike and some garbage that were lying by the roadside, but I didn't have time to check. The woman was getting closer, dragging her leg as she walked. Arimura! I tried to grab her hand and run, but... yeah, I wonder. A fire appeared right in front of us, and as we tried to dodge it, we both lost our balance and fell to the ground. The planter next to us was on fire. I looked up as the footsteps got closer and saw that the woman was right on top of us. Cryokinesis or geokinesis? Yeah. She's going to kill us. That was what was going through my mind as I lay there frozen in terror. This wasn't an anime or a movie, this was reality. The pain from where it hit my leg when I fell, the pain from the burns, all these flames, the smell of melted asphalt, like, not for nothing. We're not talking a few sparks if it's melting asphalt. It was all real. Kunosato had said that the Gigglomaniac's power came from delusion. Not just any delusions. These delusions affected the brains of others, and through being shared, they became reality. The delusions of the Gigglomaniacs and the shared reality they create are capable of altering the physical world itself. That's what makes them so dangerous. Yes, and because of that, impossible pyrokinesis was happening right in front of me. That power was going to kill me and Arimura. Delusional flames would become reality, and in that reality we were going to be burnt to death. That's a portrait. That's a portrait and a half. Yeah, I'd imagine it takes some amount of focus for that. You can't just be like, ah, sword! Maybe you can, I don't know. The woman slowly pointed her hands towards us. I imagine the same thing that would prevent somebody from running full tilt away would also prevent her from concentrating enough to actually wield the sword. The woman slowly pointed her hands towards us. Maybe I was imagining it, but the air around me seemed to grow hotter. No, I don't want to die. I don't want to be roasted to death by these flames. No, I don't want to die. No, 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 no! I still don't want to die. A bigger spiral of flames than any we'd seen before appeared before us. But at the same time... Something strange appeared in the corner of my eye. Frighteningly sharp, but frighteningly fragile, infinite and finite, phantasmal and real, like all the ugliness and beauty of the world had been compressed into one object. It's our friend. It was a D-sword! It was clearly a different shape than Arimura's, but still, I could see it. But since I didn't know how to draw it, I just desperately struck the woman with every delusion I could muster. I imagined the sword slicing through her flames. Oh, and he just gets his sword? I thought that was I honestly thought that was going to be what's-her-name's sword. And flung the image at her with my imagination. No, I guess he just does, yeah. Guess he just gets it. Suppose life in danger. The burning fangs that threatened to engulf the two of us exploded. And then the fire danced like a snake. It flew in a straight line towards the woman who had created it. I'm sure this is only going to make her happier. The fire turned into a spiral that leapt at her. So he couldn't do it. Exactly. It wasn't his life. She fell over in shock. Senpai! My Shiro, what was that? Ah. Was that my power? While I hadn't been looking, the D-sword had vanished from my vision. Senpai! Let's get out of here! Arimura suddenly fell silent. I turned to see what she was looking at. It ain't gonna be good, though. That's true. He was on the top of the building. He thought his life was in danger, but, like... He's still Taku. Taku won. At least this Taku has the ability to like, be a decent human being for some of the time. So, you know, clearly the sword can tell. As the air rippled from the smoke and heat of the flames, the woman slowly stood up. I gasped at the color of her eyes. The fire that had been there a moment ago was gone. The light that burned with hatred was gone. It was only ice. Her eyes were ice, frozen, emotionless, and piercing. Arimura and I couldn't move again. Slowly, slowly, with an unsteady rhythm, the woman approached us. I talked out of getting the D-sword by his wife, who, true, Taku also had somebody actively trying to prevent him from getting it. And then stopped a few steps away. All dunking on Taku aside, he also had people pulling on both ways. There were people trying to get him to get the D-sword and actively trying to stop him. Smoke was rising off a garbage bin behind us. The planter by our side was making crackling noises from the heat. There was nowhere to run before us, behind us, or anywhere else. I couldn't even hear the bustle of the town, but the beating of my heart sounded even louder. The sound of my saliva running down my throat, the sound of my breathing, the sound of my blood flowing, all of these sounds offered proof that I was still alive. But soon they would be gone. They would all disappear inside the burning flames. No, no. My legs shook. My eyes blurred with tears. Please, no. I don't want to die yet. I could barely speak, but the woman's expression didn't change, not even a little. And as she raised her hand towards me, I closed my eyes. I was going to... Huh? I slowly opened my eyes, and then the woman was gone. Was I saved? All the strength drained from my body, and I collapsed to the ground. Thought I was a goner. I thought she would kill me for sure. No, until a moment ago, she was definitely going to kill me. I could tell from her eyes. They were cold, without a trace of doubt, uncertainty, or hesitation. So why had she suddenly disappeared? Arimura? I looked up and saw that Arimura was standing there, staring at the spot where the woman had disappeared. Senpai. Shiro? Oh, what is it? Arimura, is there something else? No, that's not it. It's just... I'm too scared to move. We know, that's why neither of you ran away from the flames till too late, but... Is this it? Do you know what? It's been 2 heckin' hours, besides not having saved. We haven't had a heckin' choice. We haven't had a choice in a long amount of game time. We had like 2 choices early in last stream, and that's kind of been it. After the attack by the pyrokinetic woman, I'd finally fled with Arimura to Alba Dorm. I could probably get treatment for my burns here. It's closed, huh? The front door was locked. I've been so busy running that I've forgotten how late it was. I hope the key's still where it was. A girl you've never seen before, covered in burns. She's seen her before, though. To chat, to vote blue, clearly. We have awkward conversation. Yeah, it's the awkward conversations you're hoping for. Definitely. 100%. That's what you're hoping for. Oh, the other 2. Gotcha. I've been given a key to the dorm, but I didn't usually carry it on me. But when I lived here, there was a spare key hidden on the grounds. I decided to look for it. Yeah, 100%. There it is. Fortunately, the key was right where I remembered it. Part of me thought it wasn't a good idea to leave it in the same place all the time, but today I was grateful. You can sit there. Yeah, no. As I went to the exam room, Arimura still stood hesitantly by the entrance. I motioned for her to sit in the exam chair. Your wounds. Don't worry, I can take care of this myself. I see. Good. I'd gotten a little used to it, but I still didn't like the idea of touching her skin. Oh, you can use this as a disinfectant. I got some medicine, some cotton wool, and some adhesive bandages off the shelf and handed them to her. Since this was a clinic, a lot of the medicines were used by professionals, but they were labeled in clearly written Japanese, so there was no way I could screw them up. Every time a new drug came in, it was Kurisu's job to make the label and stick it on. She always said that if she didn't, Yui, Yuto, and I might take some by accident. She'd always been the type to worry about things like that. I'd always been told to make sure to straighten my shoes up when I took them off, or not put on my socks in the laundry inside out. She made me help with a lot of the cooking too, didn't she? Wait, why am I thinking about that now? I shook my head, shocked that I was thinking about those things when something much more important was going on. Is this where you lived with Kurisu and the others? Slap some guns on thing. The big rhino beetle can ride. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the flying things are a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't have a beetle, but I do have a snake butterfly. The disinfectant must have stung because she was wincing. All disinfectant stings. That's just how it goes. It's the sign it's working. Excuse me. Yes, a dancing T-Rex that will get to dance for the world tomorrow. I used to, until a little while ago. Then, where do you live now? Now, I live by myself in another place. You live by yourself, huh? I'm jealous. Yeah, I guess. What about you? I hadn't really meant anything by it. That was just where the conversation was leading. Do you want to know? Oh, no, if you don't want to tell me, it's fine. I don't mind. I live with some relatives. My family lives kind of far away. I see. If she was jealous of me living alone, did that mean that she wasn't getting along with her relatives? Oh, just so you know, I'm not being abused by my relatives or anything like that, okay? Huh? No, I just don't want you to get the wrong idea. I didn't. So you did, huh? That's right, she had that power. Having her know if I was telling the truth or not made things difficult. Or exceedingly easy, depending on your point of view, but... near college. I don't know about her relatives. We know... the scientist chick, she goes to college in America. That college. Yeah, that would do it, Potts, for sure. It's probably difficult for Arimura herself to know what someone was really thinking, whether she wanted to or not. Nope, yeah. That sort of explained how she acted at school. Unless she kept things on a superficial level, acting like a goofball and telling jokes, she'd know what everyone really felt, and it would crush her. Okay, all done. Your turn. Oh, okay. Since Arimura seemed to have finished, I sat down in a chair to take care of my own injuries. And at the same time, the door in the back softly opened. Who's there? Takeru? Oh. Takeru Plus, yes. Oh no. I'd hoped that Kurusu would be asleep. No, I'd actually come here to talk to her about something important. But after the pyrokinetic attack, I decided against it. If she saw me injured like this, she would worry. She would have worried, so I planned to talk to her tomorrow instead. I heard a noise, so I came down to check. What are you doing here at this hour? Then she realized that there was another girl in the room. Huh? Arimura? Hi! This isn't what it looks like. I wasn't out on some kind of weird late-night date with her, and then we got into a big fight where both of us got hurt. But before I could say something which would probably only make her more suspicious, Kurusu saw us both and went pale. You're both hurt! This is... I knew this was coming. Her own injury hadn't healed yet, so when I saw how worried she looked, it pricked at my heart. Give those to me. Huh? You need someone to treat those injuries, right? Give me the medicine. Oh... Kurusu grabbed the medicines I was carrying and started to patch me up. No, we're fine. I already did it myself. You have to do it correctly. What if it leaves a scar behind? But... no buts, understood? What if I want to leave a scar? Snap him Thanos style. No, she gonna snap him Bane style. In half over her knee. Kurusu's no-nonsense attitude was enough to overwhelm even Arimura. She sat still and let Kurusu do whatever she wanted. Once she was finished, she started on me. So, what happened? Oh, huh. Man, so you know, there's a really wicked girl out there who's definitely been experimented on by a strange set of people in a basement who you probably know, who's very angry and likes to light things on fire. And Nono's just like, yeah, I know, yep, yeah. What was I supposed to tell her? I mean, at this rate, they don't know who she is, but like, I should probably try to find a way to say it that won't scare her. We were attacked by a firebender who burns everything around her and is filled with the hatred and fury of 1,000 suns. Damn it, I could have phrased that better. We were attacked. That's way too blunt, Arimura. Arimura came straight out and told her while I was hesitating. Attacked? That's right, by a psychic with the power to control fire. And the fire, doesn't it always, yeah. Kurusu's expression started to cloud over. Come on, Arimura, shut up! I glared at her, but Arimura just shook her head. At times like this, if you try to hide things, it just makes it sound like you're lying. You only make them worry more. Huh? And anyway, even without my power, it's easy to tell when you're lying, my Shiro. I guess that's the downside of him being garbage human, like, conversation, talking, everything. If you're not good at talking with people, you're also not good at lying. Arimura's right. Tell me the truth, okay? I guess I didn't have a choice. I told Kurusu what had just happened, carefully choosing my words so as to not scare her. While I spoke, I had flashbacks to the terror I'd felt during the attack, and my voice started to shake, but I couldn't help that. So, we don't know why either, but she was definitely after us. Everything I said sounded unrealistic, even to me, but Kurusu intently listened to every word. She just sat there and listened. Miyashiro? Arimura suddenly looked at me and spoke. Garbage human beings live. Can you see that? Huh? Only then did I realize I'd been so busy talking that I hadn't noticed, but something had appeared in the corner of my vision. That's... When I remembered the terror I'd felt during the attack, had I brought this back as well? Really got burned by Taku, yeah. There was no mistaking it. A D-sword. I whispered the words myself and tried to visualize it more clearly, and then... a hazy, indistinct image began to take shape. I reached out my hand towards the bizarre object, but... what's going on? For some reason, I couldn't touch it. Taku, what are you doing? There's a sword here. A sword? I figured you learned how to manifest your own D-sword now, Arimura said. My own? That's right. That's your D-sword. My D-sword? An illusory sword that could only be seen with the power to make delusions real. It's true, he couldn't. Then I'm a psychic after all. That's what I've been telling you this whole time. Then that woman was after me? Think so. Of course it's possible that she was after me too. What if what I'd been afraid of had become real? That woman, her eyes, her appearance, and her flames. The burn marks on our bodies told me that this wasn't a dream, it was real. At this rate, I would be killed, like the victims in Don't Look at Me and Revolving Dead. Why? Why was this happening to me? Arimura? Kurusu suddenly interrupted our conversation. She just reaches over, casually picks up the sword. Did you mean this one? What is it? Can you tell me everything you know? Huh? Why? I'm going to find out who's behind these murders and why they're doing this. That's literally what we've been trying to do. You could just say you're going to help. What? Stunned, I leaned in towards Kurusu. You told me so many times not to get involved. Yeah, I told you not to get involved. I didn't say I wouldn't get involved. But it's too late for that now, right? There's a chance they might come after the two of you, isn't there? I noticed earlier that something seemed a little strange about Kurusu. She told me so many times not to get involved in anything dangerous that I was sure when I told her what had happened tonight, she'd freak out. That's why even when I'd fled here, I still hadn't wanted to see her. But after I told her, instead of looking angry or raising her voice, her expression was firm and resolved. Listen, Takeru. Serika may have told you, but there's something I want to talk to you about. Oh, yeah. There's actually something I haven't told you. Something you haven't told me. I felt a sudden pain in my heart. The words reminded me of last time, when I was told that my parents were murdered. When I'd found out that the family rule in the Elbow dorm, that nobody kept secrets, didn't apply to me, just everyone else. When I found out that I was the one person who was different from the rest of my family. Because it won't, right? Imagine. And I knew Kurusu remembered it too. She'd almost brought herself to the verge of saying something, but her memories came back and stopped her. She kept opening and closing her mouth, only to finally fall silent. I almost never saw her like this. Kurusu, don't worry about me. Huh? I balled my hands tight into fists, as if I was trying to tell this to myself, too. I'm not who I was anymore. Probably. So tell me. The probably is very convincing. Is that just imagining things, or did Kurusu's eyes get a little wet? I couldn't bear to look at her, so I continued. Anyway, I need to hear what it is that you haven't told me, otherwise I won't know what's going on. You're right. Yeah, I'm sorry. And then she slowly started to speak. This is what she said. I am involved in this case too. 1/10 as good as this guy, right? He's not. He's not, but I never even expected that. Kurisu was involved in this case? What did she mean? That hospital you snuck into earlier. AH Tokyo General Hospital? Yeah, that basement. I knew about it. Huh? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was so sudden and surprising that I couldn't even follow it. The basement under AH Tokyo General Hospital. She knew about that terrifying place? Why? How? A long time ago, Senri, like we know he's alive at this point and continues on, because like this takes place before Robotics Notes and he's still tweeting in Robotics Notes. However, he might just not show up because he hasn't left his container, which we know he still lives in at the time of Robotics Notes, by the way. He does not leave that container. So like maybe we'll just never see him. Mind you, if we end up on a roof and there's a metal shipping container there, then fear, then worry. Senri Minamiyasawa. Senri Minamiyasawa? Yup. A very not happy girl with long pink hair. Taku in the flesh? I don't know. I know we get to see Daru in the flesh, only because he's in the thumbnail. It's the only reason I know. He's literally in the thumbnail for the game. I had to stop myself from reaching out and grabbing her by the shoulders. Worried about his figurines, he would, yeah, How do you know about her? That's because, well... Kurisu paused and looked away, and then she showed me the phone in her hands. Because of this, there's a picture on the phone. A happily smiling boy and two girls. The picture was old, but I recognized one of the girls as Kurisu, and the boy as a bastard. I mean Kawahara. And there was a girl with them who had very gloomy eyes. Ah. It was without a doubt the girl whose data I'd seen in the facility, the one called Senri Minamiyasawa. That's right. I remember. I knew I'd heard the name Minamiyasawa before. It's during the Culture Festival. Kawahara had said... He looks very suplexible, yes. Especially me and the one other person. Her name was Minamiyasawa. She died in the earthquake, but before that, the three of us were always together. Kawahara said you had a friend named Minamiyasawa. That's right. When this photo was taken, the three of us always played together. Senri Minamiyasawa, who had been subjected to those awful human experiments, used to be Kurisu's friend? Senri used to go to that hospital every day. Then you... The back of my throat had gone dry and hurt terribly. Then you knew what was going on there. Kurisu bit her lip and slowly nodded. I was just a kid and there was nothing I could do. It was so frustrating and it made me so sad. Kurisu looked down. Her face was twisted with pain, as if she was being tortured. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. She was a girl with a strong sense of right and wrong. Knowing that her friend was being experimented on must have been terrible for her. Did Kurisu maybe go through the same trauma that I did? But I'm not a kid anymore. I can't run away. I have to know the truth about what's going on. Otherwise, I can't protect anyone. Arimura, please, tell me everything. Was that really the right thing to do? I'd put Kurisu in danger before, and now I was sending her down on a dangerous path again. Guess we don't have a choice. Wait, Arimura! No, just steps up and goes, I guess you don't have a choice. Try to stop Arimura, but Kurisu cut me off. Listen, Takeru, I don't know who hurt you two today. You might eat those words, but they might come back, right? If I don't know what's going on, I can't do anything for you. All I can do is be afraid and helpless. I don't want that. So, tell me everything. I'm so jealous. No, it's nothing. So is it okay to tell her? Yeah. I slowly nodded. But, Arimura, before we get Cruz involved, can I ask you one thing? Ask me? I don't really know much about you. Honestly, I don't know if it's okay to trust you. You could be a Wesker. I see. Yeah, that makes sense. But it doesn't seem like you're a bad person, I think. So I want to ask you. Ask me what? You're not... At least, you're not our enemy, right? No one I care about is going to die because of you, right? Arimura thought for a moment as she looked at me and Kurusu in turn. And then... Well, you just saved my life back there, and I don't think it would be right to hurt you after that, so I swear it. Wesker's secret child. You both can treat me as an ally. I see. Oh, but I hate it when people get clingy and super friendly, so keep that in mind. Then she smiled just a little. That may have been the first time I'd seen a real smile from her. October 12th, so it's still Monday. Very late at night. Shinjo looked out at the huge white building and sighed loudly. A.H. Tokyo General Hospital. It has been a very busy day in-game. After Kurusu's report, he decided to visit it himself. It's almost midnight. Visiting hours were long over, and he didn't have an official warrant. He was here entirely of his own volition. But as he saw it, he was never getting a warrant the usual way, so this was his only shot. Normally he'd want to slowly, painstakingly build up a case, but it seemed to him that searching this hospital was so important that there just wasn't time to spare. First I need to see if what Mio Kunosato said is true. If I can do that, I should be able to get as many warrants as I want. After his own investigations, he found that something strange had started happening here in 2007, 2 years before the earthquake. At the time, there was a treatment facility in Shibuya called the Arc Heart Medical Association that was involved with some kind of cult. Yes, it was. On the surface, it was a mental health clinic staffed with talented doctors from university hospitals, like Grimm. There was no way to know what they'd actually been doing, but evidently some people had suspected that they were brainwashing troubled patients, among other things. But suddenly, the facility was reborn as a hospital with a non-profit assisted living facility. And all the doctors that Arc Heart Medical had fired were rehired at A.H. Tokyo General Hospital. Great. And then 6 years ago, there was the New Generation Madness, the fifth victim in that case. Fumio Takashina, the victim of the so-called brain-dead case, who'd been kept alive for a week after his brain was removed. He'd worked at A.H. Tokyo General Hospital. What's with all these creepy coincidences? There was too much that seemed suspicious. What would they have done at a time like this? And then he shook his head. Do it your own way, that's what they would have said. Either way, if you could get proof on what was in this facility's basement, the case would take a whole different turn. You just gotta remind you, just gotta be like, what if we just reminded you that this happened? You know, just, take this. Even if there was something big lurking in the shadows behind this case, if you presented incontrovertible proof, the police would have no choice but to act. It wasn't just about the facility, after all. There were a lot of people involved, too. The lives and dignity of the victims who'd been turned into test subjects also mattered. Experimenting on humans, huh? Disgusting. Every year, almost 100,000 people went missing. If some of them had been forced into these experiments, that was a big problem. Okay, let's get this over with. His voice was somehow relaxed yet driven as he headed into the hospital. The door was locked. He turned away. He learned and memorized the location of the facility from Kunosato. He snuck in from the ER loading zone and headed to the basement. The temperature there was clearly different from the areas above. Well, he's... Alright, and then he went to the autopsy room. If I remember right, this is where the entrance is. Oh, he's not gonna leave this place, right? He opened the breaker box and saw the card reader inside. So this is it. Actual good cops in the Chaos series don't seem to live. Mind you, we have one example, but it's 100% death rate so far, so even if the sample size is small, it doesn't bode well. He held out the card key that Kunosato had given him. Maybe he'll be fine. And he heard the sound of an opening door. I see. So something big's happening here. There was a hidden staircase in the back of the autopsy room. A part of him hadn't believed it until he'd seen it for himself, but now he was essentially sure. A normal hospital wouldn't need something like this. Yeah, hiding something behind all these layers really kind of is like, that's beyond suspicious. Whew. Shinjo stopped for a moment to take a breath, then headed down the stairs. There's an old hallway at the bottom. It smelled of mold and dust. When he turned on his pen light, he saw that it was an old facility and the walls were falling apart. But this place is still being used. If no one visits the building, it rots away. Unless someone uses it every day, it won't last long. But this place was different. It was old, but he was nearly certain someone was using it. I think she said it's up this way? Shinjo followed the directions that Kunosato had given him as he headed towards his goal. His first stop was the monitoring room, which would have critical information on the facility. He wanted the data on the computer there. And then he wanted to find the room where the victims of the experiments were being kept. He turned down many corridors as he headed for his destination. The cell-like rooms he saw on the way concerned him, but they could wait for later. Right now, his biggest job was to get the evidence he needed. This must be the place. Shinjo finally found the spot he was looking for. He used his card key to unlock the door. Then he swallowed and put his hand on the doorknob. When he got inside, he saw... What? Damn it! He quickly ran to the other room, the prison where Uki Yamazoe had kept the test subjects. You're kidding me! This can't be! This can't be! He quickly found the room and flung open the door. They just cleaned the place out, and then he stood still in astonishment. There was... nothing there. No victims, no beds, none of the things that Kunosato had told him about. The monitoring room had been empty too. There was no security cameras, no computers. Nothing at all. All that remained was the simple fact that there was nothing left at all. Well, hard to get evidence when there's nothing there. Where would they move them to, though? Hey, Miyashiro, you're going to the club today, right? Of course, I want to go over a lot of things with the case. Okay, let's go. Oh, sorry, go on ahead without me. What, you've got something to do? Well, I'm on cleaning duty today. It's a pretty big sign, yeah. I pointed to the other students who were moving the desks and sweeping the floors. Yeah, but you know, why don't they make the students do the cleaning? You got that right. It's only a few countries, including Japan, that make their students do the cleaning. Oh, stop. I don't need to hear it. Okay, see you later. No. Sheesh. Time to get this finished and head to the club room. Saw a scrap of paper lying on the floor next to the garbage bin. Excuse me. Someone had probably tried to throw it in the wastebasket and missed, and then left it there. I really wish they'd think about the people that had to do the cleaning before they did that. Took a quick look around. There was another student named Tanaka right nearby who was mopping up the floor. Fortunately, there was no one else around. Okay, let's try this. I visualized the scrap of paper lifting off the ground. This was more difficult than you'd think. If you lost your concentration for even a moment, it wouldn't work. Well, can I do it? Yeah, he remembered her name. Took the scene I'd imagined and tried to strike Tanaka with it. Wow. Okay. It's funny because, like, he answers his own question right after phrasing it. It's literally like, oh, why do we have to do this? Really wish they'd think about the people that had to do the cleaning before they did that. Literally answers their own question. You really think about making a mess when you end up being the one having to clean it up. And then... Yes! The scrap of paper floated upwards, just like I'd imagined. Then it floated into the garbage can. Nice. It's a little victory pose. Huh? Tanaka was looking around in surprise. She looked at me a little afraid. Hey, Miyashiro? I don't think we're getting any choices tonight, are we? Yes? What is it? Did I just see a piece of paper move into the garbage can on its own? Oh, that was convincing right there. Like, you know, it went in without anybody touching it. No way. You must be mistaken. Oh, yeah. I guess you're right. Still, she stared at the garbage can, unsatisfied. I'd like to go throw out the garbage. Is that okay? Yeah, sorry. I took the garbage can out into the hallway. Whew. More. I want to use this power more. Their resistance 2. Oh, we hit another chapter 7. Damn. 11% trophy progress. Yeah. Everybody here? It had already been 3 days since Arimura and I had been attacked by the pyrokinetic. We'd been worried that she might attack us again, but until now, nothing had happened. I also wonder, like, that clearly made the delusion sound. Which part of that was a delusion? Or was that just the sound of, like, his power working? Like, I don't know. Thanks to that, we'd finally calmed down, and today I was feeling good enough to revisit what we knew about the case. First, before we get started, let me introduce you. Hey there, I'm Hine Arimura, and I'm always smiling. It's so nice to meet you all. Was the delusion true? Yeah. Will Buddha's telekinesis delusion? Maybe. Yeah. Always smiling. Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you too. Clap, clap, clap. I like that she says clap. Just, it's still hard to keep up with the way her mood seemed to change all the time. Acting. Serika was applauding, but no one else was. Kazuki was still playing ESO 2 or some other game, like she always did. She turned around to take one look at Arimura, then went back to her computer screen. Arimura isn't actually joining the newspaper club, she's just helping us. I'm in the lit club, actually, but there's no need to sweat the details. I'll be coming by as much as I can. For what it's worth, I'd already told all the newspaper club members about Arimura's power. Hey, Hina, can I ask you something? Sure. Oh, but my measurements are made in secret. I don't really know if I care about Arimura's measurements. Yeah, she doesn't look like she's about to choke him out, so he has no interest. This truly is fiction, I know, right? It's funny because Taku 1 played ESO 1, and now Kazuki plays ESO 2. The hell did you just say, asshole? Then her mood changed again. Which is the real you, Hina? Sometimes you're cheerful, and sometimes you're serious, and sometimes you're scared. You do understand that people can have emotions, and that all of those can be the same person, right? Not everybody has to be just happy, angry, cheerful. Well, which one do you think it is? People only have a single emotion, real fast. Yeah. Ah, come on, you don't have to think about it that hard. But what I can tell you is that knowing when somebody's telling the truth is a lot harder than you think. Seri, if you don't mess around a little, you can't survive. Pro tip. Serika seemed lost in thought, as if she didn't really understand. Oh, right, you! Kazuki jumped a little. Hey, you! You're a first year, right? Oh, sorry. Can you say that out loud for me? Her power won't work on her! Her power will never work on her! She's immune! Oh, Hina, don't say that. Hana doesn't talk. Huh? She doesn't? She's absolutely immune. Do you mean she can't talk? No, I don't think that's the case. She just really doesn't want to. Even we've never actually seen her talk. Huh? I see. Arimura stared at Kazuki's face. Okay. Hana Kazuki, right? So, can I call you Hana? Hard counter. Yup. Okay, Hana. Nice to meet you. I thought Arimura might have found it difficult to get along with Kazuki, but maybe I was wrong. Since Kazuki didn't talk, it might actually make it easier for her, since she didn't have to worry about knowing if she was lying. Okay, let's get started. Also, good to know that, like, her power works on the actual words you say, not the intent behind them. She clearly has intent when she's like, but they're not words. You have to say the words for her power to work. Wait, before that, there's something I have to tell you. Kurisu is... Sorry, I'm late. Kurisu opened the door and came inside. Her injury had healed, and Dad had told her that it was okay for her to move around, so she'd come back to school today. Vice President. Have you started already? No, we definitely haven't been talking about the case. Oh, it's okay, Ito. Huh? Kurisu is going to help us solve the case. Well, she is. She tends to punch the wall punch you, yes. Yes, I guess you could say it's my job to keep an eye on you. Kurisu glanced at me for just a moment, worried. But it was only for a moment, and then she was back to normal. Anyway, let me hear your opinions on the case thus far. If there's anything that's even a little off, I'll gladly point it out. The meek attitude she had when she'd been hurt was gone, and she was back to her usual self. Ito's shoulders slumped, but at the same time, he looked a little happy. She was always obnoxious, and at times a little annoying, but this is the way everyone wanted Kurisu to be. Okay, now that everyone's here, I'd like to start the meeting, but first, there's something I want to show you all. What's that? I've only shown this to Onoe and Kurisu so far. It doesn't work 100% of the time, so it might fail, but... Ito, Kazuki, and Arimura looked at me in confusion. I nodded and grabbed a pen, then put it on the table. Tried my best to focus, and then just like the scrap of paper earlier, I imagined the pen moving. Here's the hard part. Can I do it? As I focused as hard as I could, I saw it slowly appear in the corner of my eye. Okay, there it is. Now all that was left was to imagine my delusion infecting everyone else. The next moment, the pen started to jerk upwards.
It's magic.
Oh, it's got an Oopa on the clicker. It's a tiny little Oopa. Huh? Whoa! The three of them raised their voices in surprise as the pen slowly moved upwards. When I stopped imagining the floating pen, the D-sword disappeared from my field of vision, and the pen slammed back down on the table. Wow, Miyashiro, that's incredible! Just don't start using that power with your other delusions, Taku. See, that's the thing. This Sahidibi Protag doesn't know fighting games. You're thinking about Kai. Kai knows fighting games. Taku clearly doesn't. Just like I said, it's not perfect yet, but... When did you learn to do that? Onoe helped me try a bunch of different things. Ito gasped in amazement. Then he's of no further use. I mean, the next game's going to be robotics again, so we'll be back to Kai, presumably. When the pyrokinetic attacked me, I was forced to accept that I really was a psychic. After that, I decided to master my power instead of running away from it. I had gone through a lot of trial and error to do so. Arena delusion? I don't think so. I think he just took his delusion and real booted it. But I don't think we're in a delusion. At first I tried to do it on my own, but that didn't go well. And then I remembered what Kunosato had said. She said that a Gigalomaniac accomplished a real boot by transmitting his delusion into the dead spots of another person's brain, to create what she'd called a shared reality. That meant that if I didn't have someone to share my delusion with, it wouldn't work, right? So when I started practicing with Serika, things began to go much better. That would explain why doors don't just unlock when he's alone. It worked when Serika was there and they had to hear that click. For them to, I guess, I don't know. It's true, there's no like wavy lines. But, Mayashiro, you know that if you start using that power for fun, nothing good's gonna come of it, right? Arimura is right. I know that. I'm just doing this to protect everyone. Huh, I hope so. I was telling the truth. I mean, to be fair, she knows if you're telling the truth. I managed to turn back the pyrokinetic's flames at the last second. That was the only reason we survived. That was only a coincidence, born out of desperation. If she was going to come after me again, I needed to master my power. That's why I decided to practice like this. But you know, it's weird. Miyashiro, not Mayashiro? Probably, but I'm too far gone. Like, I have no doubts that you're correct, but I'm too far gone. We're like 7 episodes into this. It's too late. Are we like 7? Like, this wouldn't be the first time that it's been pointed out that I've been pronouncing something wrong for an uncomfortably long length of time. But, hockey, yeah. We just commit at that rate. Like, I appreciate the heads up. But, like, it's too late. If this was, like, part 1, totally different. Hell, even part 2. Well, we've been, like, weeks into this. It's too late. Suddenly, Serika frowned. She was fiddling with her Garo Froggy strap, like she always did, when she was thinking about something. It's weird. You know, Serika, you may be able to make sense of what you're saying inside your own head, but the rest of us can't. Aki seemed, oh man. Everything about 428 was fantastic. If I'm still streaming in like 10 years from now, I'm just going to play the game again just to remember how good it was. Like, once the time comes where we're like a bunch of years away from it and like we all remember it, but it's been a while, I'm just going to play it again. Maybe not 100% it like last time, but like the game is so good. It's so good. Maybe I'll just play it on my own time and just be like, yeah. No, sorry. Well, Hina can tell if someone's telling the truth, right? And Taku can move objects. I was just wondering why everybody has different powers. Oh. I never thought about that before. She had a point. Why did different people have different powers? Oh, man. I bet you it doesn't, but I have to check right now if Spotify has the soundtrack. It won't. It won't. No. The top result links to an episode of visual novel heckin' podcast. Oh, there is a visual novel podcast that does something about 428 Shibuya Scramble, but it doesn't look like they have the music. Yeah. Hold on. In the blocked city of Shibuya. That was what... Okay, no, nothing there. That was what it was always named in, on Twitch, so I was just figured to check. Nope, they don't have it. I'm gonna have to just go revisit that on YouTube. I haven't listened to that since, like, the game. Kunosato hadn't said anything about that. And another thing, when did you get this power? Were you born with it? Let's give it a shot. This is a Japanese title, worth a try. The 428 didn't show anything, but like, give it a shot. I mean, this would only be for my own use later. No, it wouldn't necessarily be, because we'd also have it in the video game playlist. Oh, hold on. It grabbed too much. No, again, episodes of podcasts, but no music. Thank you, though. Thank you, though. It was definitely worth a try. That was another thing I've been wondering about. Miyashiro, what about you? I didn't know that I had this power until a very short time ago, so honestly I don't know. Then what about you, Arimura? I think mine came to me after the Shibuya earthquake. After that, I just suddenly could tell when people were lying. So in Arimura's case, she's suddenly been able to tell if people were lying after the Shibuya earthquake. Does that mean that the earthquake is involved somehow? Probably not. I'm sure that the man-made involved, like, induced earthquake using Project Noah, excuse me, sorry, has nothing to do with children suddenly developing psychic powers at and around the site of the earthquake and the time of the earthquake and the place of the earthquake. Nothing at all whatsoever to do with each other. Whatever you do, don't ask anybody in a shipping container about it. I have to look into that eventually. Also, as to Sari's question, why different people have different powers, I have an idea about that. What is it? I think it's because of their wish. Their wish. Yep, something happened to me during the earthquake, and the next thing I knew, I was like this. Something happened? Ah, come on, you know, I wanted to know the truth. Don't make me spell it out. It's embarrassing. No, it's not really embarrassing. And what do you mean you wanted to know the truth? What happened? Jeez, you're such a nosy pervert. Why? Call it a maiden secret, so no more questions. None. When Arimura was like this, I knew it wasn't going to get anything out of her. Anyway, let's go over what's happened so far. All the victims in the Return of the New Generation Madness cases have one thing in common. You know what that is, right? Yep, just like I guessed before, they were all psychics. The first victim in the Don't Look at Me case was famous for being able to predict the future. Yes, he could probably see the future. Precognition. Next, the leaky noise victim, she... I don't want to hit the button and go too far. There you go. Put those who heard her music into a trance. Man, they building a whole case up here. Trance, you mean like anybody listening to her felt really good? Yeah, probably something like that. Emotion control. In other words, she was able to control how people felt with her music. Next, the victim of the revolving dead case. He was said to be able to read clients' minds. I think this Kakita guy was a telepath. Yes, that's right. That's what he said to me. And as for the victim in the Gotsuin death case, was able to get scoops of psychic powers. That's right, all of Watabe's famous scoops were taken from angles and places that should be impossible. He was probably using psychic photography. So it's just like I said, don't you get the sense that all these powers have a wish involved? A wish, huh? Otani, the victim in the Don't Look at Me case, was a Nigonia streamer that, was able to become famous. Kinda? Yeah. We don't know the rest of it. Also, the rest of it applies to other people. From what Shinjo said about Takayanagi, the girl in the Leaky Noise case, she became a popular vocalist. So the original idea of it was always people who were famous was technically correct, but for different reasons. Kakita from the Revolving Dead case, him, I don't know. Arimura, do you know anything? He didn't talk about it much. I guess it was a lot of backstabbing at his job. But once he got his power, he didn't have to worry about that anymore. Succeeded in business. And as for Watabe, from the Gutsuan death case, became a popular net reporter. I see. Looking at it, you may be right. In other words, their wishes had an effect on their powers. Does that mean that your power comes from a wish too, Miyashiro? Have you ever wanted to be able to move things without touching them? No, I couldn't think of any reason why I'd want that power. Oh, I think I know. Taku, remember after the earthquake when you were in a coma for so long? Oh. Come to think of it, you had a really hard time even walking back then. Just like Kurusu said, I'd been badly injured during the earthquake. So I guess moving was his... Yeah, even after I'd finally woken up from my coma, just walking was incredibly painful. It was bad enough that it would take tens of minutes just to grab something a few feet away. I'd hated that, and I'd wished 1,000 times that the thing I was trying to get would just come to me. Then that's where my power comes from? Checks out, yeah. Makes sense. We can assume your theory that these powers come from wishes is right then. Then that woman, the one who attacked us, her power comes from some wish too. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Some people just want to make the world burn. He just wanted the remote, Did she want to burn something? What could she want to burn so badly? Maybe she wanted to roast yams? Maybe she saw people who saw her in all this pain and trouble and did nothing to help her, admittedly because they were children who didn't know how to do that, but still, that seed of hatred took place and simmered? Is this really a time to be telling jokes? No, Ito. Sari seriously believes I love that. It's not a joke. She truly believes that she really wanted to roast yams. Deadpan face. She can confirm it. She knows. Seriously. Huh? Did I say something strange? Yeah. Yeah, you did, Sarika. Well, whatever. We can worry about why she became a pyrokinetic another time. There's one other problem we have to think about with her. Something important. Look at the faces of everyone in the room. Whether she's behind all the murders so far, she'd clearly been trying to kill us. Let's see. Do any of the murders that we've investigated so far involve fire? No. I think you got the wrong person. Just shot in the dark, you might have the wrong person. Yeah. Maybe, I wonder, but no, because the first thing she said was, I found you. So I don't think that's the case. I think it's absolutely that she remembers the whole time. No, before the earthquake? Correct. They only became family after that. She had clearly been trying to kill us. So they couldn't have met. I mean, they could have passed in... They could have been passing. And again, we know that Sarika and Taku had seen her in the basement. We know that. We don't really know if she had noticed them, but we know for sure. Yeah, she might recognize them from the hospital, but I think that was implied when she said, I found you. To me, that was her acknowledging, I remember you. I've been looking for you. Here you are. So I don't think... Her leaving is definitely the weirdest part of that. Is her just leaving. I don't really have a thing for that. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm just assuming. Otherwise, why would she have said found you? Like, I'm just assuming. Yeah, I agree, but like, I don't know. I'm definitely jumping to conclusions and making assumptions, but those are the assumptions I'm working with right now. That didn't mean that she was behind all the murders. I looked back at the board. Kazuki, get the thing I asked for. I took the image that I'd asked Kazuki to print out for me. Nobody's been talking about it because of the return of the new generation madness, but there's been a string of recent arson cases in Shibuya. Everyone seemed to know this. They nodded. I'm going to compare the arson sites with the locations of the murders so far. First, here's where the Don't Look at Me case took place. And here's where the arson was. That's a lot of fire. Right? Next, the leaky noise case. It was here. Now we overlay the location of the arson fire. Wait, are you serious? And then the Love Hotel where Revolving Dead happened. There were also suspicious fires set around the Love Hotel. They're all concentrated, yeah. That's right. Now, as you all know, the Getsuan death case took place at our school. And then when you overlay the location of the fires, 3 of those took place on campus. How did nobody notice? It's kind of amazing. Right? You can get a better feel for it by looking at the whole map. Wow. I was surprised too when I first noticed it. And in light of all this, we can assume that there's some connection between the murders and the arson cases, huh? Yeah, it's too much of a match to be a coincidence. That woman has some connection to the murders. When I finished, Sarika said, "Wow, you're amazing, Taku." But everyone else seemed lost in thought. Any objections? I wouldn't call it an objection, but can I say something? Kurusu raised her hand. Yeah, go ahead. Well... She stood up in such a way as to not put pressure on her injury, and then moved to the front of the board. I want to check something. The woman who attacked you, her power was... Pyrokinetic. Yes, her power lets her control fire, right? Yeah. But none of the murders so far have involved fire, have they? What was the first one? Don't Look at Me? And the next was Leaky Noise. And then Revolving Dead. And the one that happened at the school was Getsuan Death. It's so disgusting to give names like that to murders. Look, none of them involve fire. That's what I was saying. No, you're right. Kurusu had caught on one of the weak points of my argument. I thought that was strange too. None of the murders have involved fire, which meant that we had very little evidence to suggest that she was the killer. Hey, how about this? Maybe the fire woman was testing her powers or something? Testing? Yeah, she really didn't know what her power was at first, so she started testing different things. That's why each murder is different. Oh, I see. Shin, you're smart.
Well, hey, it's hot garbage.
What if my power is stuffing somebody full of stickers? No, that's not working. What if my power is, putting a guy on a pedestal and twisting his neck off? But also, like, if that's true, why would each site be surrounded by actual fires? So I don't think that holds water. Sarika was impressed, but isn't that kind of hard to believe? Arimura said it before I could. Is it? Just seems like too much of a stretch, I think. I think so too. Let's see. Everyone fell silent. We'd only just started, but there was too much we didn't know. If she's the killer, then why didn't she just use her fire? And why did she kill them like that? No, wait. I suddenly got an idea. Hey, Arimura, I've got a question. What is it? You were hanging out with Kunosato a lot, right? Not because I wanted to. Arimura's disgust was plain. She must have really hated Kunosato. She's doing research into psychic powers, right? Did she say anything about the number of powers a Gigglemaniac can have? A number? Yeah, I never really thought about it, but is there a rule that a psychic can only have one power? I don't know. I can tell you that Kunosato never talked about it, though. The way real booting works is that, in theory, as long as you could control the delusion properly, you could use any power you wanted. In other words, it's possible for a person to have multiple powers. It's possible. Ito put his hand on his shin and thought. So the woman who attacked you two wasn't just a pyrokinetic. It's just a possibility, but what do you think? That's hardly conclusive. Then maybe she has a helper who has a different power. A helper? Oh, I get it. So there's more than one person involved. Multiple people, yeah. That's when they become Wesker, yes. When all the evil, murderous, telepaths come together in fusion dance, they turn into Wesker. Or this takes us back to the start, but maybe the pyrokinetic isn't involved in the murders, and the real killer is someone else entirely. In that case, the attacker knew was completely unrelated to the murders, right? Yeah, that one seems more likely. To me, there were too many possibilities to really know what was going on. Hey, why don't we put this aside for now? We're probably not getting anywhere. Alright, let's leave it for now. They gotta do continued poses, obviously. You told the police about the woman who attacked you, right? Yes. Did they tell you anything? The night we were attacked, we contacted Shinjo and told him what had happened, along with a description of our attacker. Arimura had said she'd help draw a composite sketch, too. The police had decided to look for her as a suspect in the arson case. If they could find her, they'd arrest her for that. Once they had her in custody, then they could find out if she was responsible for the murders. He said he'd call us if he found something, but I haven't heard anything. You don't have a cell phone. I don't think they found who she is. I haven't heard him call me. On that phone I don't have. I see, then there's nothing else we can say about her. I think so. My throat was dry from all the talking, so I looked inside my bag. Of course I brought a Mountain View. Ah, man. I opened it and took a gulp. Everyone else grabbed a drink of their own and took a moment to relax. There's a few other things I've been wondering about. Can we talk about them too? Mountain View. Pan is the age she was in GT. Never watched GT. I really didn't watch any of Super either. Sandwich showed us the last, 10 episodes of it, so I've seen how it ended. Oh, yeah, last week I had a can of Mountain Dew. Specifically for this, but yeah, it's Mountain Dew. Yeah. Sure, let's do it. I liked the pre-Super movies a lot. I really liked Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, and I really liked the Broly movie. The Broly movie was really good. I'm a very casual Dragon Ball fan. I only actually watched the show because of Abridged. I watched Abridged and went, wow, this is really funny. I should probably watch the show. So I've only seen OG Dragon Ball Z. I watched Kai for 2 arcs, and when I watched it, there was no Buu Kai arc, so I just watched the Buu saga. And Sandwich is a big fan, so I hear bits of other Dragon Ball stuff, but any of the earlier movies I haven't seen, other than some of them in abridged form. And I guess I picked up on some of the characters through just Fighter Z, but yeah, I haven't seen all of it by any stretch. The same timeline? Okay. And I like every meme that has ever happened with Ultra Instinct Goku, aka Super Saiyan Moist Goku, in Fighters. Every time he makes a perfect dodge and they play that quarter second of his theme. It's good. Looking at you, Lothero. All the victims were psychics, right? How did the killer find that out? Ito's question was a good one, and one I'd known was coming. It's just that one, as they lose their mind over that perfect dodge. I've got an idea about that. I think the killer's using the sumo stickers to track down their victims. The sumo stickers? More precisely, the 11th Rorschach test. Remember what we saw in the basement of the AH Tokyo General? Any psychic who sees that sticker has a very strong reaction. Arimura and I have both experienced that for ourselves. Just remembering it makes me feel a little sick. Arimura closed her eyes and put her hand over her mouth. Oh, Potions, did you watch the Lobby Shenanigans 6 yet? She must have felt like she was going to throw up. Are you okay, Arimura? Yeah, sorry. Keep going, Miyashiro. Okay, Ito and Serika saw this in the basement at the hospital, where they had cameras all over town watching the stickers. The swag Goku doing the roll down the Kamehameha, but he still was just in his pose, is one of the funniest things I've seen in a good while. Just, the whole thing was good, but swag Goku just locked in the pose, dodging the beam. And all the references to Mickey going Super Saiyan because Disney had thought about losing money. Just, it's a good video. It's a good video. Okay, Ito and Serika's... Oh yeah, I saw that. They were finding people who had potential to be psychics to, experiment on them underground. The sponsor advertisement, yeah. Also very good. I could see Kurisu's expression cloud. She probably remembered her friend, Minami Asawa, Senri, who'd been a test subject down there. It hurt to see her like that, but I decided I had no choice but to go on anyway. So I think the killer might have come from there. If she knew the secret of the stickers, it would be easy to find psychics, right? She just had to look for people who had a bad reaction when they saw it. For one thing, that woman attacked us when she saw us panicking over the stickers. And the killer's using the cameras down there. No way. You need a card to get in. And that place is basically abandoned, right? Nobody was watching the stickers, and nobody was doing any experiments. No, even without that facility, they could watch the stickers. Huh? Kurisu nodded as if she understood. I know what Takeru means. They didn't have to watch the cameras. They could just stand near the stickers and go after anyone who reacted like Takeru and Arimura did. That's right. I think the pyrokinetic was waiting near the stickers too. I guess, oh, that could be why she said found you for that bit, I suppose. Maybe she didn't recognize them. Maybe she was literally just like, you had a strong reaction. Coming for you. But I got a bit of a limp, so I'll catch up. I don't know. It could definitely work that way, but I still have my suspicions about the first part. Still have my suspicions. Like a spider waiting for something to wander into its web, and then Arimura and I happened by. But it could absolutely be this way too, but I'm sticking to my guns. That would take a long time though. It's not impossible. Also, the deaths are very spread out. Also, they're literally a serial killer. Are they really worried about oh, I gotta go fast, gotta kill fast? It's like, no. Somebody will show up, and I'll kill them. But, wait, we won't get any further debating that. Let's go on to the next point. We keep leaving questions unanswered, is that okay? We don't have a choice. Our goal right now needs to be to get as many questions out there as we can. Ito, is there anything else that's bothering you? Yeah, 2 more things. Ito asked us 2 remaining questions. Summed up, this is what they were. Why are the murders taking place on the same day as the New Generation incidents? And why are they happening at all? It's like the whole point of this is to attract a lot of attention. Yeah. Well, if the whole point is you can't use your big gigalomaniac powers unless somebody is watching, wouldn't attracting the most eyes make it the most power and give it the most reach? In theory? Everything from the dates to the ways the murders were committed was chosen to be as sensational as possible. Was it just to attract attention, or was it a message meant for a specific person? Or it's somebody that's targeting Taku, in which case, Taku 1, in which case it's like, I still let him, yeah. Alright, is that the motive? I know, like a serial killer, right? They sometimes call those types organized killers. If the murders continue to follow the dates on the New Generation Madness, the next one will be on the same day as Braindead, October 23rd. Nanami's Revenge. Yeah, the Council of 300 is definitely involved. We have to say Taku 1. Say psych right now. The murders continue to follow the dates of the New Generation Madness. The next one will be on the same day as Braindead, October 23rd. which also meant nothing was going to happen until then.
なるほど。だからか。
I see, so that's why. Ito suddenly snapped his fingers, as if he'd reached some great conclusion.
お前と有村さ。
The two of you were attacked by the pyrokinetic, but in the end, she didn't kill you.
ああ
Yeah,
それって要するに
maybe that's because it wasn't the right day.
殺す日じゃなかった。
Right day? That mean it wasn't my power that saved us? No, but it had really felt like she was going to kill us. The more I thought about it, the more confused I felt. Maybe she wanted him to get his D-sword? I don't know. She didn't seem like she was the planning type, at least at that moment. Alright, I'm going to head to the student council, but promise me you won't do anything dangerous when I'm not around, okay?
そんな何
I
回
don't
も
need to keep saying that. I know.
本当ね。
Really? Yeah. Been a while since Kurusu had glared at me like that. Now that the Empress was back, she was scary.
あ、そうそう。
Alright,
それ
and
から
Takuro.
タクル、あなた、
Kurusu got in close and whispered to me,
今夜から
Come back to the Alba dorm tonight.
え
Huh?
狙われているのかもしれないでしょ。
Someone might be after you, right? It's dangerous to be alone. She brings a very good point up.
しばらく
Doesn't have to be like to be forever. It can just be for a little while. Live at home until this is resolved.
いや、でもさ。
Could have melted them? Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Like, she clearly did a lot of damage, but she clearly was, like, blinded by rage, as it were. I don't know if her aim was spot on. And they clearly had just enough wherewithal to dodge. But at the same time, I would definitely not call the game out for being cheap if they were like, no, she was pulling her punches. She could have killed them the whole time. I could see that being the case. My gut tells me she was just lost in the sauce, and that's why her aim might not have been great, but I could see it being the other way. No, but
ダメ。
no complaints. If you don't come back, I'll come and get you. Bye.
こっちから連れに行くからね。それじゃ。
I absolutely just imagine her, like, grabbing him by just one ankle and just dragging him the whole way, upstairs, downstairs, over rocks, doesn't matter, just dragging him behind, and I believe she probably would. They covered some amount of that, of, like, he makes money off of something. I don't remember what it was. They gave some example, I think. Also, he doesn't have a lot of money, it just doesn't cost a lot. Didn't Gen help him get set up? And he sells something. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaken. I know Gen helped him, but I don't know exactly to what degree or extent. Before I could say anything, she ran off to the student council room. You're the student council president. You shouldn't be running in the hallways. Hmm? What did the vice president say?
いや、別に。
No, nothing. Some personal stuff. She wanted me to go back to the dorm? What should I do? There's no real need to listen to her, but knowing Kurusu, she might really come barging into my RV. Especially with the rate that you keep it locked. Yeah, but you know, there's just so much we don't understand.
そうですね。
Yeah.
なんか頭
My head's starting to
痛くな
hurt,
ってきちゃ
right,
ったよ。
Taku?
タク？
Taku?
Eh?
No? Yeah,
Oh,
you're
sorry.
right. We hadn't really learned anything today. We had no proof, just a bunch of guesses.
な、
Hey, why don't we talk to Kunosato?
久野里さん。
Kunosato, huh?
ほら、彼女
She
なら
might
俺たち
know
の
a
知らない
lot,
こと
a lot that we
いろいろ
don't,
知ってる
right?
んじゃね
ああ、
Oh, that's
それはやめと
probably
い
a
た
bad
方がいいっすよ。
idea. Arimura shut down his idea.
えなんで
Why?
あれ
Didn't I tell you? She doesn't think of us as human.
え
Huh?
伊藤先輩だって
She was really mean to you too,
あ
right?
の人にひどい態度
Or
取
do you
られて
get
た
off
じゃ
on
ないです
that?
か。
I could be like that too if you want. I now have to screenshot every reference to Ito just clearly liking people being super mean to him. And the fact that everyone else is picking up on it is only making it better. Like, we joked last stream, like, ah, he likes it. But, like, everyone else is like, he likes it.
だから
I'm really not into that. Don't say the same thing Miyashiro
宮
did.
代と同じこと言うな
Arimura had gotten the same idea about Ito that I had. I laughed a little. And then Arimura turned to us with a smile and continued.
別に冗談じゃない
I'm
ん
not
ですけ
kidding.
どね。
I can tell when people are lying,
私
right?
人の言ってることが久野里さん。
Kunosato says a lot of mean things to us, but she's not joking. She really hopes we die. Huh? That was a surprise. Did she really hate us that much? What did we do? Arimura continued on, in the same chipper tone a girl might use to discuss after-school plans with a friend. She only sees us as insects she can experiment on. Are you okay with being treated like an insect, Ito? Yeah. After the meeting in the newspaper club ended, I bought a Mountain View at the vending machine in the cafeteria and sat down on a nearby bench. I've been thinking so much that I was exhausted. I opened the plastic bottle and swallowed down the bubbling carbonation inside. Whew. You're drinking that stuff again? You really do like it. Lito brought a can of black coffee and sat down on the bench with me. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I don't necessarily... Well, yeah, because delusional reasons, but yeah. I still don't think she's behind this stuff. But the fact that it's confirmed that she really did mean that stuff is... yeah. Taku-hon can do that, I guess, yeah. She still is by far the character I dislike the most. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Taku's got some personal issues, but she's actively, like... She's the only one that can be questionable on that line of, is she good, is she not? But... Momose likes her. And she's generally been a good judge of character. Well... Except when it came to the other detective, I guess. I was going to say she's usually a decent judge of character, but she didn't... Well, that's true. She likes her because she's useful and smart. Yeah. I don't know. I still don't get the vibe that she's behind this. Otherwise, why would she help them on this case? And she seemed truly, truly interested on finding out what was going on in that basement and getting that girl out. I'm not saying I like her, but I don't think she's actively evil. I don't think she's actively causing harm to people in this game right now. She's absolutely not a great person, and she clearly might do ill to these people if she was just unleashed, but yeah, that doesn't mean I have to like her, but I don't think she's the cause or behind any of it. At the moment, who knows? The actions she's taken just wouldn't mesh with somebody who was actually behind all this. You know, that really surprised me back there. Huh? Your power? Well, I'm still surprised myself. Yeah, she's... Yeah, and I really want to know what her power is. Really want to know what her power is. And, like, she definitely had a D-sword in her room, right? But, like, just chilling there. She wasn't holding on to it. And when she was like, hey, we should show him a D-sword, she didn't materialize her own. When she could have. Why not? She made someone else do it. Like, there's a lot of questions surrounding her. For sure. I was really impressed, I guess. It was cool. His body. Stop it. I don't exactly want to hear that from another guy. That's something the heroine says to the male lead in a romantic comedy. Then the hero falls in love, maybe. No way. Series of faces filtered through my mind. Serika with her dopey laugh, the ever-angry Kurisu, Kazuki playing Yaso 2, and Arimura with her acid tongue. But I couldn't imagine starting a romance with any of them. Oh, come on. I was trying to say something nice to you, which is really funny because this game also has a cutesy dating sim. I know because every time I type in chaos, like semicolon, into Twitch, the other game comes up. It's the Chaos Head, like, Love Choo Choo or whatever, a Chaos Child Love Choo Choo. There's one for both. So... Oh, come on. I was trying to say something nice to you. Ito threw the empty can at the garbage bin. That's good stuff. It is not. Ugh, yeah, coffee. Bleh. The garbage can had a lid and only a small hole to throw the cans in. Of course, there was no way he could get it inside.
Nana.
Hey, hey, can you do it again? Wow, you're so lazy.
何を
Do what again?
だから
Your power, dude. Ito looked around the cafeteria as he spoke, making sure no one was too close. What? Was this why he'd thrown the can? Yeah, clearly. Oh, crap! Cool! So, just gonna... Oh! We only have... Oh, no! There's no red! There's no red! I'm hitting R2, guys! There's no red! Damn it! We finally get one! I don't know if I should say or not. Damn it. Alright, hold on. So we got Soar Blue, Ramen Neutral. What else do we have? Sorry. Kaleido Blue. That's it. So. Oh, we got a neutral. So we got 2 blue, 2 neutral. I know, Mitz. I'm sorry. So. 3 neutral. We've never done a neutral. I guess in this situation, neutral would just be not doing it for him. Whereas the positive would be doing the thing. I'm sorry, Mitz. Mitz used the ticket tonight for an all-red decision. I said if no decisions came up, I'm just going to refund the ticket. It looks like that's what's going to happen. We finally get to one of this no red. Like, come on. I'm sorry, Mitz. I won't use the ticket for that, because, like, unless one comes up after this. But, like, we only got a half hour left, and right now they've been slim. However, neutral has won over blue, so we're just going to go through. Fortunately, it was after school and the cafeteria was just about to close, so there weren't many people in the room. There were a few groups of people who were probably chattering about nothing important, and a few boys and girls intently reading their books. Nobody was paying attention to us. I didn't think anybody would see me and make a fuss, but... So how does the power work exactly? Is there a limit on how much weight, or how big an object, or how many things you can move? Game new. I know, I'm sorry, Mitz. I liked that idea, too. I haven't tested that yet. Then, can you be precisely? Do you ever move things other than what you meant to? I haven't tested that yet either. That was a good point. It would be best to check that stuff. What should I do? No, now wasn't a good time. I still wasn't used to it, and I was already exhausted. The idea of trying to focus even more didn't appeal to me. Not feeling up to it today. We can do it some other time. I leaned back on the bench and swallowed my Mountain View. Aw, don't be such a stingy asshole. Seriously, I'm not trying to be stingy or anything. But it did seem like I need to test the limits of my power, like Ito had said. Excuse me. That's fine, Sora. I tossed the bottle of Mountain View into the garbage, just like Ito had done moments ago. Of course, it didn't even come close. It fell on the floor and started to roll. They both went back and picked it up, right? October 15th, so I still got a few days. Thursday. Oh. Hold on. Sorry. The hair is just being weird. Medical Examiner System, a legal system that allows for a coroner, as well as a doctor who has been given permission by the area's governor, to dissect a body that died under suspicious circumstances and determine the cause of death. This system is only in use in Yokohama, Nagoya, Osaka, and Kobe, as well as the 23 wards of Tokyo. Many people believe that Japan lags behind the rest of the world in this area, and every year there are calls for the system's expansion, but as of now, there are no signs that it will actually take place. Straight up ignore. Yeah, we learned that. We learned a thing. Do another potential rough fluid running. Well, this was just going to be move the can, but you know. I got the sensor ready. We got Endwalker ready at any point. The system allows for an examination, or in some cases an autopsy, to determine the cause of death in accidents or when a person has died from disease or an unknown cause. This is going to be a lewd can true, clearly. The work of the medical examiner is done as follows. In the event of an unusual death, first the forensic officer conducts an examination, followed by a post-mortem from the medical examiner. Process of having a doctor determine the time and cause of body death. If the death is ruled to not be abnormal, a death certificate is created and the process ends there. If the death is ruled abnormal, the body is sent to be autopsied. If the cause of death can be determined, the body is then turned over to the family. If the post-mortem examination fails to determine the cause of death, only then does the examiner conduct an autopsy. And if it is judged that a crime was involved, a further, more expansive judicial autopsy is conducted. But such an autopsy had already been performed on Tomoaki Watabe. It was extremely unusual for a second autopsy like this one to be performed. Oh. Something bad is happening to one of these people. Right? Right, just... well... Oh, he's back here, though. Shinjo averted his eyes from the coroner's knife. He'd been to many judicial autopsies, but it was something he'd never gotten used to. He probably never would, he thought. As for the person standing next to the coroner, she was staring at the open skull without the slightest trace of disgust. Ah, as I suspected, I'm seeing signs of enlargement. Enlargement of the brain? What else? Do you think I could look at his skull and tell you if his internal organs had enlarged? You know, you gotta give her that one. To be fair. She may be snarky, but that one is kind of warranted. Shinjo's shoulders slumped a little. When he'd first met her, he'd been unsure of how to handle her, but now he actually felt kind of worried for her. Didn't that get tiring after a while? From what you said before, the cause of death was definitely suffocation. Suffocation alone wouldn't be enough to do this to you. Which means that it's the same as the other victims, huh? Any ideas to the cause? There's just not enough samples. Is it something unique to the victims, or is it something common to all gigolomaniacs? You don't know, huh? There's a way to find out, though. What? We can open up the skulls of Takeru Miyashiro and Hine Arimura. That will tell us whether or not it's something that all gigolomaniacs have in common. And now we know she's not joking about that. Don't be stupid, we can't do that. I'm joking. Are you, though? We've got CRT scans and MRIs now. There's no need to chop open their skulls. What? Is it so surprising that I would tell a joke? No. Shinjo thought to himself that she probably wasn't joking. She didn't like the gigolomaniacs. She hated them. And from the bottom of her heart, he didn't know why she despised them so much. Of course, there was probably a good reason for it, but he wished she would tone it down a bit. They probably didn't become gigolomaniacs by choice, and more than anything, he didn't want to lose their help with the case. So, what's the plan for the investigation now? If there were still test subjects under the hospital, there were things the police could do. But when he'd gone down there, there wasn't a trace of anything left. We've got evidence if we need it, though, right? Kunisada's voice was as cold as ever. Evidence? Why do you think I brought the girl out of there? Make her tell you everything she knows. Come on, she's a kid. She's not a kid. She's a dangerous gigolomaniac. Shinjo rubbed his temples, unsure of what to say. October 15th, Thursday, same day. Trustworthiness Investigation Corporation Frisia. Kunisada Momose sat in a reception room in a messy corner of her office and sighed as she ran her hand through her hair. Please let me go. Just leaving her in this heckin' investigation office? Okay, please let me go home. No matter how many questions she asked or how she tried to get her to talk, that was the only answer she would get. Sometimes she tried asking if there was anything she wanted, or if she felt like eating anything. But the answer was always the same. Please, let me go home. She hadn't made even the tiniest bit of progress since the girl had arrived. Yeah, oh, that would be even worse. Honestly, at this rate, I think letting her go back would be worse than keeping her out here. That might be bad. Even the endlessly patient Momose would want to sigh after all that. She still didn't know where this Uki Yamazoe girl was from, or how she ended up in that hospital. But from what she'd seen, there was a chance she'd endured significant abuse. And then she was suddenly rescued from it and taken to a completely different environment, so she must have been very confused. She knew from experience that victims like that needed to be treated very carefully. If I don't go back quickly, everyone will have trouble. She kept repeating the same lines like a broken audio player. Momose was starting to think it was time for a different approach. She didn't know what would happen if she told the girl this, so she kept it a secret until now. But maybe I need to tell her and make her face reality. Please, I need to go back there. I guess I don't have a choice. Not gonna go well. Not gonna go well. Once she made a decision, she didn't spend any time on second thoughts. This was both an advantage and a disadvantage. Listen, Uki? Yes? If you really want to go back that badly, I can tell you something. Huh? You're letting me go back? Thank you. Listen to me. No matter how much you want to go back, it's impossible now. Impossible? Because the place you were in, that place under the hospital, it's gone now. Huh? Momose was relieved to finally see shock on Uki's face. Good, she does have normal feelings. Like Kurusu had said, they hadn't done any operations on her that would destroy her ability to experience emotions. Right after you came here, that detective, the young one who looks tired all the time, you said he went to that hospital. The girl simply listened to Momose speak, her eyes wide. Momose kept talking, watching her carefully. And he went to the autopsy room, was it? And then to the basement where you were. But there was nothing there, he said. The room you were in was empty. But then where did everyone go? What about all the people there? You said there was no one there? No one? Yuki seemed to be trying her best to understand what Momose just said. And then... You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. Why would I lie? It's true. But then what did I do? What do I do? Tears started to silently fall from Uki's eyes. Well, that was a happy, uplifting scene. Ha! What's wrong, Taku? You look so glum. I was born looking this way. Taku's got resting glum face. Come on, can't you say something more fun? Dad was as jovial as ever. Without his lab coat, no one would ever believe he was a doctor. Thankfully, only doctors can own lab coats. Well, I bet it feels good to be back home again, right? No, not really. Well, you just started living on your own, so maybe you didn't realize it yet, but eventually you'll come to know that home is where the heart is. Maybe his heart's in an RV, I don't know. In the end, I'd come back here to Aoba Dorm, because Kurusu had told me to do so at school. Someone might be after you, right? It's dangerous to be alone. Doesn't have to be forever, it can just be for a little while. Live at home until this is resolved. I wasn't her slave or anything, but just like she said, it was dangerous to be alone right now. Especially when we didn't know who the killer was, or what they were after. If someone was nearby, it would be easier to get a hold of Shinjo and his allies if I needed to. And I was probably never going to be able to tell this to Kurusu, but the feelings I'd felt when I'd left home were starting to disappear. After seeing Kurusu get hurt, or try to protect me, or cry for my sake despite being such a strong girl, I started to understand some things that I hadn't known when I'd left. Character growth. What the hell? Damn it! I realized what I was thinking and shook my head. No way. I wasn't like Yuto, who could never seem to get away from his sister. Hey, why are you turning red? Nothing. Yeah, if you just locked him in a shipping container, he'd probably be pretty safe in there. Anyway, go put your stuff away. Nono's kept your room clean. Oh. Dad didn't get mad when I'd left, or when I'd come back. Come to think of it, he'd only said one thing on the day I'd left. Once you understand why Nono felt she had to do what she did, come back. Bye. I'll go put my stuff away. Hey, Dad, is it true that Brother Takeru is coming back? As I went toward my room, Yui appeared. I could see Yuto behind her.
Oh,
Yep, he's back already. Oh. Yui's face almost broke into a broad smile when she saw me, but quickly forced herself to assume a strict expression. What are you doing? Huh? You have to clean the bath and the kitchen and the hallway. You and I have been doing all your work for you while you were gone. Oh, sorry. I apologize without thinking. So, you're gonna do our jobs for a while, okay? Got it? Yeah. Brother Takaru, it's fine. It doesn't bother me. No, you need to be strict about this. Formality even between friends is a Japanese saying, right? But if you tell him that, he'll go away again. And after he just came back, too. I said he has to, and that's it. Hey, Takaru, don't you think Yui's starting to turn into Nono? Yeah, especially when she's mad. Did you say something? No, nothing. Sorry. Yui put her hands on her hips and puffed out her flat chest to glare at me. She did look just like Kurusu when she did that. Brother Takaru is only so selfish because you spoil him, Dad. The eyes were perfect. Oh, now she's mad at me, huh? So, Brother Takaru, you're not going anywhere again, are you? Huh? No. You know how sad Big Sis Nono's been since you left, right? And Yu's missed you a lot too. I see. And no, it hasn't really bothered me. Baka. And suddenly, the expression on her face changed. It hasn't, but... Hey! Yui? Stop that! I'm not good with that stuff. I can't handle it when people cry. It's nothing! Yui covered her face with her hands and then ran into her room. Yuto followed quickly after her. Dad scratched his head and sighed a little as he saw them go. Come on, go put your things away, Takaru. Okay. I got away as quickly as I could. That scared me. Didn't expect Yui to start crying all of a sudden. I thought nothing would really change around here even if I left, but do they really need me here that much? If they did... No, but... Huh? Since I was lost in thought, the knocking sound startled me. As I sat there lost in thought, I was suddenly startled by a knock at the door. It's weird to type that twice. Brother Takaru? Oh, hey, Yuto. Big Sis Nono says to come down when you're changed. Yeah, thanks. What is it? About Big Sis Yui. Yui crossed his hands over his stomach and fidgeted as he looked up at me. She was mad about a lot of stuff, but she said she really wanted you to come home, so she wasn't really mad. It's okay, I know. Really? Yeah, so head on down. I'll get changed and come and join you. Okay. Yuto looked a little relieved as he left the room. Yuto's gotten a little taller, huh? Yuto and Yui had come here at almost the exact same time I had. I was worried about how it would go when we first started, but... The Shibuya earthquake hadn't just taken their parents from them, it had caused them severe psychological trauma. During the earthquake, Yuto had been trapped in a dark place for a long time, all by himself. As a result, he was still terrified of darkness and being alone. That was why he still clung to his sister. And Yui, after the nightmarish incident she'd gone through after the earthquake, she'd become desperately afraid of men. At first, she was even afraid of me. Afraid of Taku. Why would that be? But over time, we started to open up to one another. When I'd left, they'd seemed to be doing a lot better. And now, Yui had her act together even more. And Yuto was still young, but he did seem a little more grown up than he had before. Even if the world didn't look like it had changed, time was still passing. But what about me? Had I changed? Okay, it's ready. Alright, let's eat. Let's eat. Oh, it feels like forever since we had sukiyaki. What are you talking about? We had it last month. Listen, that was chicken. You can't call it sukiyaki unless you make it with beef. We don't have the money to waste on that. It's a certain someone's fault for saying, we can't take money to treat people when they're in trouble. Oh, not that it bothers me. You don't have to put it like that. Show me some more respect. Right. Here, Takeru, give me your bowl. I'll give you some. Kurusu reached out her hand towards me. Huh? I'm fine. You are not fine. You haven't been eating right lately, have you? Just give me the bowl. You can't replace meals with Mountain View. Give me the damn bowl. Kurusu grabbed the bowl from me and heaped the beaten egg high with meat and vegetables. Here, make sure you eat. Oh, okay. Brother Takeru, there's some meat here. Take it. I've got enough, really. What? You'll eat Big Sis Nono's meat, but not mine? Are you pretending to be a drunk old man or something? It means food. You have Mountain Dew, the real fuel of true gamers. Hey, wait, guys! The meat's all gone! It's first come, first serve. That's what you always say. You always say it. I just said you should show me some more respect. Everyone was seated around a single pot eating dinner. I thought that the only point of dinner was to eat until you were full, but... Takeru, Yuto? There's more meat in the fridge. Have some. Hey, you need to lose some weight, Dad. Eat your vegetables. You know, I don't remember raising you to be like that. Even if you don't remember it, you did, so give up. They are, yes. Part of me enjoyed sitting around the table and listening to everyone's conversation. Oh. No, that wasn't true. I definitely wasn't homesick. Maybe it was just that having someone near me made me feel better. Maybe it was having Kurusu offer to help me when I've been in trouble on my own. But it definitely wasn't that I was happy to be home or glad to have come back where I belong. Third Takeru? Brother Takeru. He bakaed so hard he just went into his own universe. Huh? What? You want some tea or not? I've been asking you, keep ignoring me. Oh, sorry. You know him. He's probably thinking about something overly complicated. What do you mean overly complicated? I never overcomplicate things. Right, stop. No one cares. Do you want some tea? Oh, right, stop. No one cares. Oh, brutal. From someone like half your age, just shut up. Do you want tea? Yes, no. That's it. I'd rather have some Mountain View. We don't have any here. Yuto, what is it? Why are you smiling? It's just more fun having everyone here. You look really happy too, Big Sis Nono. Do I? Yeah, maybe I do. Oh, well, hello. He doesn't seem to be... What are you doing, Taku? It didn't work. I've gotten a lot better at seeing my D-sword. Ah, excuse me. But I still didn't know how to grab a hold of it. I asked Arimura for help, but her answers weren't really helpful. Unlike with my psychokinesis, all I needed to do was draw my D-sword from the DRC. I should be able to do it alone. But when I was by myself, it was just an illusion. Unless I real-booted it, I wouldn't be able to use it to attack or defend. If I wanted to use it as a weapon, I needed to share the delusion with someone else, just like with my other power. At least that's what Arimura had said. But before that, I needed to be able to grab hold of it. Damn it, one more time. Reach out your arm, fix the image of the sword in your mind. God damn it! Whenever I tried to get close to the D-sword, it moved away from me like a mirage. If I just flailed my arm at it, I couldn't reach it. My hand's starting to go numb.
する
Takeru, I'm coming in.
ちょ
Oh, wait! No waiting. I had my hand stretched out like a TV hero in the middle of his transformation. He struck a ranger pose. And Kurusu was staring at me, her eyes wide. No, it's not what it looks like. I'm teaching Yuto a new transformation pose. Yuto's not here. Yuto says he's too old for that stuff now. Huh? He does. Kurusu put her hand on her cheek and sighed. If you're planning on becoming a real hero on your own, give it up, okay? I am not. How old do you think I am? No matter how old you get, you always act like a kid. And then she stared into my eyes. I could tell that she wasn't blaming me, and that she was genuinely concerned. Takeru, sit down over there, okay? No, I'm just about to take a bath. Just sit down, alright? Oh, okay. I sat down on the bed as I was told. Takeru? Kurusu took a step towards the bed and looked down over me. Humans are strange creatures. Whenever someone looks down on us, they seem bigger and more powerful. I quickly stood up and looked down over her instead. When I first met her, she was almost at eye level with me, but now... I'm not training to try and do something bad. Someone's after you because of your powers. If you keep trying to use them like that... It's the other way around. If I can learn to master them, I can protect myself, and I can protect everyone in the newspaper club, or here at Alba Dorm. But that's the police's job, right? Yeah, I'm sure they're going to do a bang-up job against somebody who can literally immolate them. I don't think the police are going to be able to save us if we need it. But... what about you, Kurusu? You always say you're going to protect us, but what are you going to do if a psychic attacks us? Oh... see? So I've got no choice but to learn how to use my powers. Totally they are. Kurusu stared down at her feet silently. Then she raised her head and looked at me in the eye. Listen, Takeru, I've known you for a long time, so I can tell what you're going to start thinking. What I'm going to start thinking? You're going to put yourself in danger. You'll try and use your power to catch the killer, maybe. Gulped. I hadn't really thought about it yet, but knowing me, I'd probably, no, definitely think that. What? You're not a psychic, so how do you know the future? I always know you, right? Even without any psychic powers, I can tell exactly what you're going to do. She wasn't around when the D-Sword was shown off. Maybe she is a Gigalomaniac, and it's literally just like... her entire thing would have been about protecting Taku. If it was about a strong wish that happened right after the earthquake, hers would 1,000,000% be about protecting Taku. Entirely. But we don't know. Anyway, please, just focus on protecting yourself, okay, Takeru? Because he made the sword appear when it was him and Arimura after the fires. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, she said what sword? Yep, you're right. Totally forgot it. Yep. Please. Okay. Okay, then pinky swear. Huh? Pinky swear? Are we supposed to be little kids? No way, that's embarrassing. Holding pinkies. If you lie, you're going to get a lot worse than being forced to swallow 1,000 needles. And that's really scary. Huh. Then the heavens intervened to save me, and a phone rang out like the Galahorn. I probably pronouncing that wrong. A horn held by the god who guards the gates of the gods in Norse mythology. Its sound is said to herald the arrival of Ragnarok. I hadn't gotten a new one yet, so of course it was Kurusu's. You're not going to answer it? Ocarina is coming. I'm talking to you right now. But it might have something to do with the case. Operation Ragnarok, go! She must have thought I might be right, because she took out her phone and looked at the screen. And then she looked concerned. It's Shinjo. Huh? I only said it to distract her, but evidently the call really did have something to do with the case. She quickly hit the answer button and put the phone up to her ear. I watched her nervously. Hello, this is Kurisu. Yes. Yeah. Yes. On the other side of the phone, I could hear a note of concern in Shinjo's voice. I couldn't tell for sure, but he seemed to be saying that someone had gone missing. No, they haven't. They shouldn't even know where this place is to begin with, huh? Takeru? What? What did I do? Kurisu moved the phone away from her ear and turned back towards me. You know that Yamazoe girl, right? Huh? Yeah, the girl who we saved from the hospital basement. She's gone missing, he says. No kidding. Yeah, of course she ran off. That was so absolutely going to happen. What? She was missing? You wanted to know if you'd taken her. Of course not. I've been with you the whole day. That's right, yeah. Give me the phone. I want to talk to Shinjo. I reached my hand towards the phone. Shinjo had given me the location of an office on a multi-purpose building in Sakuragaoka. No, Sakuragaoka-cho. I was right, I missed the cho. This is a scene's change, and I doubt we're going to get a better one than this. We keep ending this one a few minutes early, but, like, it's one of those things where the scenes go on long enough that, like, when it's close, when it's within 10 minutes, like, that's what it is. So we're going to save it here. I'm so sad we didn't get an actual red option tonight. There's music here. We can't stop now. You're right. Gotta keep going until there's no music. So tonight was an interesting night for stuff happening. District. Okay, that makes sense. As you can tell, I am perfect when it comes to reading any word, but specifically Japanese words. So good, so good. Japanese and French are the two languages I read the best. Definitely. Followed closely by English. Yeah, lots of questions raised, some answers, some D-swords. Good times. A distinct lack of people eating brains, though a definite remembering of it. Yeah, tomorrow we're doing No Man's Sky. It should be, I think me, Ramen, Sora, and Potions are all signed up for it, so that's the 4-player party we got. With some good old exploring and whatever we decide to do in No Man's Sky. Tuesday is going to be Chrono Cross. Thursday, me and Potions are hopefully going to finish Returnal Co-op, but if not, we'll keep it going. That's fine. Friday, we're doing the new story in Guilty Gear. Saturday, there's a new set coming out in Magic the Gathering Arena. Even though I don't stream a lot of Magic the Gathering Arena, I just kind of wanted to. So we'll do it. I haven't looked up the new set, and it comes out technically Thursday, but I won't touch it. I've got enough in-game currency to buy like 20 packs or whatever, and whatever they'd give out. So like, give that a shot. His phone? Yeah. Yeah. I don't think she has his phone. Because she showed... Oh, maybe. She showed the same photo that she showed Serica to him, but she could have swapped phones. But Serica would have recognized his phone too. And she did take the phone from behind her back and show her the picture. So I don't think she has his phone. But I could be mistaken. That's just an assumption based off of that. And then Sunday we're back to this. So like we've got a whole heckin' week. Oh, and then Monday, the Mod Squad's playing Divinity 2. Me, Mitz, Potions, and Ramen playing Divinity 2 a week from Monday. So we're playing for more than a week for once. We never plan this far ahead. But it just kind of works. Probably that Tuesday we'll do more Chrono Cross because we won't finish it tomorrow, but I do want to finish it. We're making good progress on it. We're getting far. So yeah, that's what we got for now. Good times are abound. Get ourselves a monster, a quote, a Discord, and you know what? It's gotta be an oof. Yep. Oh man, Jackbox. Always interesting times with Jackbox. Oh, same one in a row. When there's only 3, sometimes it gets stuck on one, I've noticed. Just how it goes. It's random, you know. Very random. There you go. And, yeah. So obviously, thanks to everybody who hopped by tonight. Hope everybody's enjoying. Sorry, Mitz, I just won't detract that ticket for you. That was a good idea. I liked the idea. The game just went, no. So, what can you do? Would have been really funny, though. Would have been really funny if we got a lot of those delusions tonight and just Sora sitting over there like, I want blue so badly, as we just kept going red. Would have been good. But yeah, that's all we got for now. This has been Viper for Viperland. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.